Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to episode 61 of the Choking Hazard podcast, the first of 2021, with my usual co-hosts who are bouncing on their chairs for some reason. Nos, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
And Josh is down there.
Hi.
And we got no
somewhere down
RDT,
there.
he's gone.
Where is
He's
he?
not. He's snowboarding. How selfish, I know. So
I'll keep bouncing.
we got
Where's
Hammer
Sean
though.
White?
Hammer is still kicking around in the background, looking over everything. Just about. And it's been 2 months since the previous episode. The last one was in the end of 2020, before Christmas. It's been over 2 months. There's a lot that's gone on since, and we'll hash it all out in this episode. We'll talk about it all. If you are watching this not live, so as a video or listening to it, maybe you want to watch the pre-show this week when it comes out, because we had a bit of a botched start for this one. But yeah, this is take two. It's all fine. Let's continue.
Yes.
So, what do you want to talk about first? I'm open to anything today.
How was COVID?
Yeah, go on.
Straight in.
Instantly demonetized, by the way. Instantly. Boom. The algorithm picks that word up.
Yeah,
Boom.
little box at the bottom. NHS
Oh yeah, we're
website.
gonna have NHS COVID-19 help on the bottom
Don't
of
say it
YouTube.
again.
Okay, it was like a cold, I suppose. That was how it affected me, and I had long-term fatigue from it for about a month, and then since then I've been largely fine. So
I mean, I've got to say, it's great that you never go outside. You're always vigilant about sanitization and everything. Like you've done the best job a human being could do. You get sick. I'm down here in Alabama. No one is wearing their mask. I have to be outside every day for my job, and I'm fine. It's great. I mean, it's the world is working. Is what I'm saying. Everything is working as
it
God
should
or
be.
whatever higher power intended.
yeah.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is kind of,
great.
yeah. Well, when we got it, obviously we did the last episode of the podcast pretty much a few days before we found out that we had it, but I probably would have had it in my system when we did the last podcast episode. And yeah, when we found it out, I was like, that is just insane. We go out once a week to go shopping, and that's it. And we still got it. But
What kind of shop do you go to?
yeah, it was a supermarket. And it was the supermarket shop that we did a few days before the last episode of the podcast, where it was the final shop before Christmas, and it was just absolutely jam-packed of people. So in a way, I am not surprised that we got it, honestly.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Just sit inside and starve? Like,
Well, yeah,
I
we
mean,
had, we need food, we need to go out. So, and I went early enough, like I think it was the 21st, I think, that we went. So there was still plenty of days. It probably got busier, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily a surprise that we got it in that way. It's just, yeah, that is the only time we go out every week. And it's only me really that ever goes out, and we're doing all the right things, all the masks on, all that kind of stuff, and still got it. So, but yeah, it didn't affect me as badly as what you hear from other people. I felt like I had a cold, a little bit of swimminess in the head that lasted for a while, and then the tiredness hit me the most. I was unable to do full length streams when I came back for about a month. Zexy got it a lot worse than I did. She had proper flu symptoms and feverish and all that kind of stuff, but she's okay now as well. Zexy's parents were over here, and they are just hitting 70. They both got it as well, obviously, with us all being in the same house, and they were better than Zexy was. So
that's thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll just kill people.
You just never
random
know.
people. Boom, you're done.
you just never know.
Just boom.
Yeah,
20 and healthy. Boom, done.
yeah. You
It's-
never know.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, we're all fixed. We're not worrying about getting a vaccine for a while. We've got all the antibodies we need for like 5 months or something. So we're okay on that front. But we still do the same stuff. We only go out once a week, and get shopping, and that's it really. So, yeah.
I thought it was a very convenient timing, Broughy. Noticed that you didn't notice you missed out on something.
I did miss out on something that I was actually looking forward to. I wanted to participate in it, so it's
Okay.
I wouldn't say that it was necessarily convenient. It was a shame.
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe me?
I mean, now, well, if you had said this yesterday, I wouldn't have. But some spies of mine have told me that you were doing something this morning. That surprised me when I heard about it.
Okay, let's do the sim racing corner now. Let's get it out of the
Okay.
way, shall we?
Yes, because it's actual setup talk, and I like
Yeah.
setup talk. I
Yeah.
don't like hearing what these fake racers did in fake races, but I do like talking.
You might
Yeah.
like my story in a minute.
Okay, all right, I'll give you a chance.
Well, let's do the because the reason that Josh said what he said was because I was planning to participate in the Daytona 24 hours on iRacing. That was it at the end of January or end of end of January. I was planning on doing that, but I was still suffering from the tiredness of COVID, and I wasn't back properly yet, so I didn't even attempt to be part of it. But I was actually wanting to do it. Like, that's one of the races I actually want to do. So yeah, I what?
No, I mean, continue.
I was gonna say I'm curious to hear how it went for your team.
Okay. Where do I start? Okay, so
Start at the wreck. Let's
No.
at whatever wreck.
Yeah, whatever
no,
wreck
no.
happened, guarantee it was one.
we need to go way forwards. So we're all preparing for the Daytona 24. It's coming up and stuff, and then Broughy gets ill and announces it, and he's like, "Oh, and my wife's girlfriends. Wife's girlfriends. Oh my god,
my wife's girlfriend.
My wife's
Wow,
girlfriend.
quite the family we've got going.
Right there. That's what it's about.
Parents-in-law are here, and they're going to be sick as well." And I'm like, "Oh god, that's a real bad situation. Better not bug Broughy to play iRacing." So I didn't. Everyone kept asking me, "Oh, Josh, when's Broughy going to join?" And I'm just like, "Oh,
Yeah,
leave him
it
alone."
was. Even if you'd asked me, it wasn't going to happen. It was just not the right time. So yeah, it was handy that you didn't even ask me in the first place.
Yeah, I thought you had other things.
Yeah,
to worry
one less
about,
thing to worry about.
Yeah, but we managed to get some new people in. It was fine. We managed to make a schedule and stuff. We all do our practice and whatnot. We were driving the Lamborghini on. I guess I should say it's the Daytona 24-hour race. So it's a virtual 24-hour race before the real one, like a week before. And it's around Daytona road course. Obviously, you can't drive 24 hours by yourself, so it's a team event. So we had like a team of 5 or 6, I think. I think it was 6. And yeah, we all prepared. We made little schedules and stuff. We had
just like for the 23-hour race that we both did. Yeah, just same idea for anyone who saw
exactly that. Just 1 extra hour, and this one's like a real race. You're playing against people the same skill as you and stuff. And you don't have any fast repairs.
Oh wow, none.
Race we had 5 fast repairs, and we used them all.
We used them all pretty early on as well.
Yeah, you don't have any at Daytona, so. But anyway, it gets time to do the race or whatever. We all join up and stuff, and then we all started to get a little worried because the amount of people registered just keeps rising and rising. And it goes over 10,000 entrants.
That's a lot.
Was it 10,000 or 1,000? I don't remember. It was a large number, the largest we've ever seen. And it was very, very scary. And then it goes the time. I can't remember what time of day, like midday or something. And we all sit there, and nothing happens. We're all just sat in the practice session, just nothing happening. We're just like like a minute passes, nothing, no entry button, no like go join race button, and 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and everyone's like, oh, whatever. And then a few iRacing staff members are like tweeting, like, oh, we're looking into it.
I remember this now because wasn't it like devs and iRacing staff members who were tweeting from their own personal accounts and nothing was coming from the actual iRacing account?
Yeah, the communication was really bad. But time passes and it turns out that the scheduler, the thing that because the way iRacing works is each race is like its own server or whatever. Its own like part of a server. So like when the time comes for the race to start, it says, okay, here's all the people registered. It works out all of their I ratings, how skilled they are, puts all the skilled people together and all the slightly less skilled people together, blah, blah, blah. Gives them all their server, tells that person where the server is, and they connect to it, and then they go. It's not anything to do with the actual racing. It's like just the scheduling of like who's in what session and stuff like that. It turns out there were so many people that it just timed out. It was just working perfectly normally, and then like an internal timer in it said, "Oh, this is taking too long. Something must be wrong. Stop." And then it just didn't.
Oh wow!
Because there were so many people, so they had to do some panic patching to like fix it, which as a programmer sounds like hell working on something live like that with thousands of angry people waiting for you to do it, and it's got to work the next time.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the stress of that.
Yeah, it's like just trying to no time to test anything, just got to push it and go.
Yeah.
So a couple hours pass. I can't quite remember how long it was, and they have another session, another sign up. We all sign up again, and even more people sign up. And everyone had to panic adjust their schedules because we've planned a 24-hour race, and then all of a sudden it's starting 2 hours later. So everyone we can't shuffle everyone up because everyone's only awake and available at certain hours. So we had to swap a bunch of stuff around. And I went from like starting the race to like ending it, basically.
Yeah, I see.
But eventually everyone gets in. We sit there. Yeah, we sit there for like. They tweeted and said, "Oh, the scheduler could take like 10 minutes to schedule everything, so don't unregister or whatever." So we sit there. Time comes. It's like, okay, we know nothing's going to happen. We wait 10 minutes. Still nothing happens. The iRacing devs are like, another 10 minutes, it'll be fine. We keep waiting. 40 minutes pass, and then finally the race button appears for everybody.
Wow.
And we actually get into the race. And now it's like, now we're 40 minutes behind the extra 2-hour schedule, right? So we're shuffling stuff and everything. Race, we do the qualifying and all the race and everything. We had our fast driver Carl in first. He qualified like first, I think. And during his stint, he just leads the entire race. We're just winning our class, the GT3 class.
Nice.
For his 2 hours, and we're like, oh, this is looking good. This is great. And then Carl gets out the car, and he's just like, okay, just live. I don't care what position you're in when I get in, because we had like the good driver. Our plan was to have good drivers, and then it slowly gets worse, and then it slowly gets better. So at the end, we just have to win. In the middle, you just have to live, right?
Yeah, I see.
But obviously it's messed up a bit. But anyway, we're in first place. We hand off to our next guy, who's Broughy's replacement.
Okay, so that was going to be my slot.
Yeah. So this is your fault.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, great.
Can I
like
find?
About to be bad.
I need to find a clip actually.
Oh, here we go.
On.
If there's a clip, you know it's going to be bad.
Yeah. Let me find a clip. Yeah, here we go. I got it. The name of the clip kind of gives it away, unfortunately. But I'll oh god, I just closed.
Oh yeah, you're dead. You're frozen. You're frozen on the podcast screen.
I'm coming back. I closed the wrong tab. I'm sorry.
Oh well, we'll get to do a live test of whether it'll automatically, start your video feed up again, or if I'm going to.
Please come back. Come back, Josh. I'm lonely.
I'm trying. No, that's the wrong camera.
Post a link to the clip.
Ooh, that's not right.
Oh, it actually does work immediately. Beautiful.
Oh, good. Hey, I'm back. Okay, my bad. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I closed the wrong tab. I'll link it to Broughy and then he can show it maybe.
Yeah, I'll show.
If he wants. Okay.
Well, I would like to see it too.
But obviously the name gives it away.
Oh no.
So our new guy's in the car. He's like struggling a bit. It's stressful. Don't mess up.
I mean, I know what that's like. At least, like I had the benefit of it being a fairly chill charity race when I did it. Like, and that was still quite nerve-wracking, So,
but this is like we've got, instead of having like GT4s trying to pass a Jetta, we have like prototypes trying to pass a GT3. Right?
Yeah,
it's all a bit.
He's gonna go.
But yeah. Anyway, play it, I guess. So at LMP2 decides to dive us down the inside.
Oh
pushes
no!
us across
What
the track.
Fuck
You're
happened
fine.
there?
You're fine.
Then
you're
he
fine, you're
taps
fine,
the
don't worry.
track and then
Where do I come back on
travels
track here?
backwards a
Turn
little
right,
bit,
turn right, turn right, turn right,
trying to
turn
turn the
right.
car
Slowly,
around. You know, being
slowly.
safe. Don't want to get pushed off the track. Don't want to hit anyone. Traveling backwards, trying to turn it around, and then he disappears. What happened is we got disqualified for traveling backwards.
Because I got knocked
What?
across.
Yeah.
But it's
We
not
got
as if he had
disqualified.
any control over that whatsoever. Like,
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
And
you're
the
fine,
problem is
don't worry.
the game doesn't try to assign blame or anything.
oh, I
All it
see.
sees-
I see.
all it
It was an
sees-
automatic disqualification. Just
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All it sees is that we've touched the course at one
He's gonna
point,
go.
and then we've gone significantly backwards along the course after
Right.
cutting the entire track. Right.
Well, Lord,
So
I wonder
what-
what kind
what-
of penalty you would have gotten for cutting track.
Yeah,
if you
what
didn't
could he
travel
have done in that
backwards.
situation? Realistically, could he actually have just joined the track where like cut the corner completely and joined the track?
Yeah, you can, and you get like a massive slowdown.
Right.
But the thing is, the choice here is like, you know, turn right onto the track with cars coming towards you on the
Yeah.
wrong side of the track. He's, you know, we're watching it from like third person above. He's like in the car and you get
Yeah.
spun around by an LMP.
Yeah,
You
the
have no idea where
natural
you
thing
are.
to do would be to just try and get back to where it was that he came off.
Yeah, just try to avoid everyone and not
But
make it worse.
it's a shame it wasn't his fault either. Like, it was clearly the prototype that just decided to be crazy in that corner.
I mean, I'm kind of glad it wasn't his fault, but, you know.
Yeah, but no,
But
what I
yeah,
mean
no.
is like it's a shame that you got so badly, like you got completely
Yeah.
disqualified for something that was really out of your control. And
Yep.
he as a new driver, he's probably going to feel bad about it, but it wasn't even anything he did, you know.
Yeah, and what's worse is that this is the second Daytona 24 that I've entered that I've never driven in.
Oh wow, okay.
Because if you remember
Oh,
when I
did you
first joined the podcast, do you remember that we had like a guy who drove straight into the pit lane wall head on and was embedded in the wall? I don't know if you remember.
I
Showing
vaguely
the-
remember
I
about
believe
that.
it was choke of the week.
Yeah, it was
It
choke of the
was,
week,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Ah.
Yeah.
So-
This isn't really a choke. Like this
No.
doesn't really fit, but
So
Why do the prototype cars though? Why are they like that? Why do they do that?
gotta go
This
fast,
thing-
dude.
Just zoom, just right. You die.
I have also driven prototypes, and you do kind of get into the mentality of just treating the GT3s as like toys, right? Just get out of the way, right? You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, did anything happen to the LMP car that
Oh
knocked
no,
you
no,
off?
he probably got like a 4x for hitting us, and then kept on going.
Ugh.
Nothing.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just super unfortunate.
that's 2 in a row now. Then 2 years in a row that you've entered the
Mhm.
Daytona in 24 hours and you haven't raced in it.
Yep.
All right, next year I'm going to do it with you, and if it happens again, then
He's
you
gonna have to
should just
stint
not
before
enter.
you, and then he's gonna wreck. He's gonna total the car.
I'll make sure to schedule you before me. You know?
So I've got all that pressure of, oh my god, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
I've got to not wreck. I've got to make sure that Josh gets his Daytona race.
Yeah. Yeah. Next year, like Carl's in chat. Next year, I'm driving first. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Put me in for Christ's sake. I
Yeah.
want to actually drive it. Yeah.
So-
So, that was my Daytona experience.
So
Sounds awful.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I'm up for it next year. We both missed out on doing the Daytona 24 hours this year. Let's
Yeah.
say that. I'll be up for it next year.
Well, there are plenty of other special events that we could enter.
Okay, don't
The-
get me roped in immediately to everything until I've got all this set up that I was
Well,
going to talk about.
The Bathurst 12 hours is happening right
No,
now. So
no,
if you hurry
hit
up,
that
we
track.
can- Yeah. I think the next special event that we're planning to do is the 24 hours of Nürburgring.
Oh boy.
In VLN, but it's all German cars. So with Nürburgring, it's like you want to drive a slower car, so there are just less corners you have to do because you're not going as fast. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the problem is, this year, normally they'd have the Mazda MX-5 in there, but now they've added so many German cars because they want to only use German cars for the German event, right? There is no Mazda MX-5 anymore. It's
And for that reason, I'm out.
it's GT3s, GT4s, TCRs, and a Porsche Cup. Those are the options.
That track did already kill a racing game for me. That's true. What Obst says in the chat. That was the final. I ended up getting involved in an event on Nürburgring, on Gran Turismo Sport, and it went so poorly that I never touched the game again.
Oh man! Apparently, what I've just said is wrong, according to Zach. I don't know, but anyway, it's something like that. I know we'll have to figure out cars, but the one I'm looking forward to is something Nos might care about. I don't know. Is the Indy 500? Do you care, Nos, about Indy 500?
Is
No?
it at Barber Motorsports?
No, the Indianapolis 500.
Well, IndyCar races it. Sorry, thought you meant just IndyCar in general. So
No.
that should tell you the level of care.
Okay, there's a special event called the Indy 500.
Oh.
I'm going to enter that, but that's not. Yeah, it's oval, but that's not like a team thing. But,
No.
But I'll need like a dedicated spotter though, because using the inbuilt one isn't good enough for that.
No.
Ooh, now that sounds like something for me. All right, Josh,
Yeah.
there's one right there. There's one right there.
Nos would be a good spotter.
Watch
Yeah,
out. There's one right there.
Yeah,
He's
but
right there.
There's a wreck in front of me, and you need to tell me where to go and how bad is
Go
it.
to the
Should I
left.
take
No, I mean
tires?
right. No, your other left. No, your other right.
Oh man. Yeah, but there's plenty of events, and if there's like if you do want to do it, Broughy, like every weekend we do like a little 6 or 3 or 6 hour endurance race.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm going to be more set up to just jump into to iRacing now. For those who don't know, I've put it together this morning. A playseat racing rig setup. I put it together this morning on stream. I might highlight that stream because it was fun. But it's set up. I got new pedals. LCM. I think it was LCM. Is it? LCM, yeah, pedals. So same wheel, new better pedals, a proper setup, proper seat. I'm going to be putting the curved monitor right in front of it, so I'm going to be right close to the monitor. And I'll try to line it up so that like the wheel in front of me is lined up with where the wheel would be in the car, and have a proper setup separate to all of this. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm quite excited about it.
That sounds great.
He's going to have a camera over his shoulder, so it looks like the F1 footage when you've got the onboard camera.
He's going to install a halo above his play seat for crash protection.
Well, the play seat itself goes like under the desk. I had this like I've been planning all this for like a few months now, and upgrading things and upgrading monitors and moving things around in this room. But it goes underneath the desk as well, so it feels even more, authentic and real because I'm getting into a car. It's not just sat there with my Wheel Stand Pro and pushing that up and setting that in front of the desk that I always sit at with the monitors. So I'm excited for it. I never thought I'd have something like this in my in life. I guess you see these sim rigs at events and things like that, and it's cool. It's exciting. So I'll be able to much easier jump into things like iRacing just without any setup required to put the wheel in the right place. And it was quite uncomfortable as well, to be honest, sitting in certain positions with that wheel. I found during the endurance race, my back did not like it. So I'm looking forward to this.
I like how you've gone from like having nothing and me pestering you into playing iRacing to then just straight a better setup than me. I have like a deck
if you're gonna
chair
do
and a VR
something,
headset.
you gotta do it right.
That's it. I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, it's the same. Like I said, in terms of choosing iRacing, it's like, yeah, I've played the GT Sports and the Forzas, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do the most popular, the best one of iRacing. And if I'm gonna actually get into it, I'm gonna do it properly. So
see, I was just so big brain. I just went for just buying an actual sports car. Like that's what I did.
Yeah.
I just bought an actual MX-5, 2 of them.
I mean, that would be
that's my racing game.
Yeah, that would be the preferred option, to buy one of those and race it in real life. But we can't all be as rich as you, Nos.
I know you can't all work for a pizza place, huh? You gotta be a professional streamer.
Speaking of working for a pizza place.
Oh, you're gonna segue into that? I was before you go segue on me. Like I was telling you in chat earlier, get a little shifter. I'm telling you, it's good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would. I mean, I'm guessing there's mounts and things for this.
Yeah, play seaters, loads of stuff.
Yeah.
There must be.
Yeah,
because I've got the pedals. I've got the clutch pedal now, so I can.
Yeah, like it makes it, because that was the experience that I always wanted from a like doing the whole sim racing thing, was to have that stick shift and having that having those motor functions, like that's what I wanted. Yeah. And it's a blast. It's just so much different than click, like it's a blast. I bet with those nice pedals, I'm sure you have, it'd feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but I have the Thrustmaster T whatever. It's like a 7-speed shifter. I really like it, and it's like $150. So,
yeah, I might look into that.
You get a handbrake too if you really want to be professional like me. I've got the Fanatic handbrake, and it's pretty fantastic, if I do say so. Because
you do some rallycross in iRacing. You need a handbrake for that. There you go.
Yeah, do they have rallycross in iRacing? Cool. I like rallycross. Yeah. I'd be terrible at it, but I like the format.
Yeah. It's like heats and everything. It's like the correct format and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to try that.
But and plus with the whole shifter thing, like in my opinion, if you're not going to use a shifter, I don't even want a pedal cam. Like, it's pointless. Just put me bars on screen or something. Like, if I'm not going to see you over there with your feet, that's...
Yeah, there's no real need for it, I suppose. Because, I mean, iRacing, a few people asked about this in the videos. Like, can we have it would be good to have a pedal cam to see what's happening. And I'm thinking, but iRacing has it on the screen, how much brake and throttle I'm using, and it's right there.
Yeah, if you're just using brake and throttle, there's no point. But if you were using 3 pedals and you were actually heel toe and rev matching and all that, then there's absolutely like I said in your chat earlier, Jimmy Broadbent taught me how to rev match downshift in real life. So like just watching his streams, like I actually do that in my real car, and it works.
I tried practicing it a little bit a few years ago, but I never really got into it totally. So.
Oh, and then you got to get some driving shoes too. You got to get some driving shoes.
I mean, I've got my kart boots.
No, what you need to get like those white Grandpa New Balances that Takumi uses in Initial D. That's the kind of shoe you need. Just those white and the black in on the side. So
give us the update, because the last time we spoke to you, you were about to start a new job. And it was all exciting, and it was all just seemed like a perfect fit. And then a few days later, it was like, okay,
a few days, whoa, give me some credit.
What, like a week?
No, it was like a month.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a month. I started in the last week of December, and I quit in the last week of January.
All right, okay. Well, I had COVID during that time, so you can't blame me for not knowing what's going on.
Yeah. So, I sold cars. I was a VTEC dealer for approximately a month, and I hated it. It was awful. It was actually terrible. Like, it was awful.
You were so excited.
And we were all like, this is so you. Yes. This is perfect.
That's why I did it. Every human being in my life convinced me to do it, and I hated it. This is the last time I listened to anybody else.
Why? Why did you hate it?
I sat at a desk all day and watched YouTube. That was my job.
That sounds pretty good.
No, I can't function like that. Like I mean, like no, it wasn't really a conscience issue, because it's not like the dealership I was working at. It's not like we had like lemons or anything. It was a more, the vehicles that were the price range there. It's not like I was selling somebody a $2,000 car. It's gonna break down. It had nothing to do with ethics. It was just boring. Man, it was super boring.
Was it a dealership that's selling new cars or used cars?
Yes. I was in the used car department at a Honda dealership.
So they sold both new and old.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Well, every pretty much every dealership's going to have a used car department because you take trade-ins.
Yeah.
So and those trade-ins get either wholesaled or sold on the lot.
Okay.
And I was in used cars, and it was mostly Hondas. I didn't have a problem with any of the cars. All the cars were uninteresting that I sold, pretty much. But that's the nature of car sales in the modern age. You know, people don't want an interesting car. But yeah, I just it. And I'm the type of guy, like, so there were like me and 4 other salesmen in the room. And I'm the type of guy, like, if all 5 of us are doing nothing and the phone rings, like, why should I answer it? You know, there's like 4 other people. Like, I don't have that. I don't have a competitive drive against other people.
Yeah.
Which is something that really didn't help me at all. I'm more cooperative than competitive. Like, it's like, man, I'm a kid living at home with his mom. These people got bills to pay. Why should I pick up this phone?
I see what you mean. Yeah, it is quite a competitive environment to be in, right? Because everybody wants to make the sale on the next car and the various commission, I suppose.
And apparently, like, from what my uncle was telling me, you know, he's been in this business through his whole life. You know, there are some dealerships that there's like 25 salesmen or something, and they're all just pushing each other over and like fist fighting in the parking lot over customers.
Wow.
It's like so like the experience I got didn't even seem to be the real car salesman experience. This seemed to be like the best of the best. I will give my uncle and the dealership I worked at credit. Like if you're going to be in that job, it seemed like this was going to be the best of the best situation. And it's just, I would sit at my computer all day, and I would watch Junkyard Digs on YouTube revive Broncos, right? In the middle of a field, because he has very long form content, so it worked well for me. And then someone would pull up and be like, "Hey, welcome to Honda. What you need?" Be like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a pilot. So here's 11 pilots, ma'am." Well, I don't like any of these. What do you want from me, ma'am? What do you want from me? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've got a 400 credit score, I got $500 down, and I want a car. Okay, well, we have one car in your price range. I don't like this. Well, what do you want from me? What do you want? And it showed me how stupid people are. People who buy cars, they are stupid. They are stupid. Oh my God. Like, they are so stupid, especially like people that don't have money, okay? That come into a dealership. Poor people that want a car are dumb. I'm just gonna put that out for you. It's like they come in, and we've got a couple great options on the lot. Our best option on the lot, right? So if you don't know much about car financing, obviously a bank doesn't want to finance a older car, because when cars break down, people stop paying loans, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, if you have low credit and not much down, what you're going to want is a lower mileage new car, right? Well, if you have a lower mileage new car, those are usually pretty expensive, 20 plus thousand, 25, 30, maybe even $30,000, right? So we had this one car. It's a 2020 Kia Soul, 9,000 miles on our lot. It had been there so long that the dealership, and I looked at the numbers on my uncle's computer screen. He was selling it for wholesale price. It was $15,000. Brand new car, $15,000. People would come in, they've got no credit, they've got $1,000 down, and they're like, "I just need something with 4 wheels." You know, and the Kia Soul is a perfectly practical, serviceable vehicle, right? It wasn't in an offensive color. It had all the driver assist you want, you know, lane keep assist, departure mitigation, like the active braking or whatever, it'll brake for you if you're being dumb. And you show people this, and I don't like it. Well, you know what? I don't like your credit score, your down payment either, lady. But like, we got to be flexible somewhere if you want a car. It's just, people are stupid. Like, people don't understand that when you're 22 and you have a 400 credit score and no money, you can't come onto the lot and get what you want. You come onto the lot and you get what I give you, or you get nothing. Like
it feels like there's a lot of
later-
that just in general life though now, right? Like people wanting things that they don't.
I just don't understand. Like, just go get on Craigslist and buy a Honda Civic for $2,000. Why are you coming to me? I don't have the product you're looking for. Okay, I don't. And I just couldn't
skateboard has 4
stand.
wheels.
I just couldn't stand dealing with people who were unrealistic, because I feel like I'm when it comes to cars and money, I'm a very realistic guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know
And-
that you have the money to buy 5 cars, so you buy 5 cars.
Exactly. Also, I sold a car, by the way.
Oh.
Not through my job. I sold one of my personal cars. I'll
Oh.
talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I sold 2 cars through my job.
Oh,
I sold a 17 Ridgeline and a 2013 Nissan Quest. So and
what,
see,
what-
but it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how much did you like sell those for? What did you get from those sales? And what was the expectation of how much you should be selling? And were you higher or lower, or, you know, what? How,
As far as what I sold, I think I really limited myself. I mean, the lower amount of money I made was totally my fault. I'm not going to blame anything. Like, I just don't, I don't have the work ethic, like the type of work ethic required to do that. To do
to
that
thrive
job.
in that environment?
I'll give you an example. Like, I'm not going to jump up and meet a customer out in the parking lot when there's 4 other people sitting at their desk. But my uncle laid a book on my desk and it's like, hey, I'm gonna let you borrow this book so you can read it. It was some garbage self-help book, but we're gonna it was like, Keys to Success or some garbage.
Okay.
But it was a nice, nice thick book. Read it that day. Like that's what my work ethic is like. You give me a task and it's completed. Not
Right.
like
Okay.
you've got to compete with these other people for your livelihood. That's not my work ethic.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
But the money, like the Ridgeline that I sold, it had been there for 100 it'd been there for 100 days. It was already down to where it was what they call a mini, so I only made like $100 on that. But the Quest was I made about $600-$700 just on the sale of the Quest. But with the pay plan, like, I didn't make $700. You have to meet. I don't know if I explained the pay on the last episode.
Yeah,
but I'll
like
do it again.
they pay you a minimum amount, right? And
Yes.
the first bit of whatever you sell goes towards that, and you keep any extra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a $1,500 a month draw. So you have to sell a profit, like, after $1,500 of you selling, then you start making money, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But it's like there was absolutely a ton of money in it. I mean, if I could have handled sitting at a desk all day and doing nothing, I would still be there. But I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I just, like, if whatever job that I'm gonna find in my future that is gonna be for me is not gonna be one where I do nothing all day. Like, I have to work when I'm at work, apparently.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I tried this job and I
Yeah.
experienced what it's like to not work at work. And I don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So-
You found out information that will help you find a future job that you end up
Yeah.
in. It's all learning experiences.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, I wish I would have liked it. I wish I did.
Were there aspects of it that you did like?
No.
No, just did like, because we were all saying how well it seems to fit you, but was there nothing there that really actually ended up being like that?
I mean, I feel like if I was enthused about all the vehicle, like the Quest that I sold, even though it was a deal that my uncle mainly put together, like that vehicle, like I was enthused about that vehicle because it was it was a Nissan Quest. There's nothing to be enthusiastic about a Nissan Quest, but when you look at it from the frame of, like, because I'm a Miata driver, okay, you know this. I'm all about getting the most utility for the least amount of money, right? So it's like you come onto the lot and you want a minivan that's got captain seats in the back, you want power sliding rear doors, you want this, you want that, right? It's like, okay, well, let's look at an Odyssey. An Odyssey's $25,000 for a decent used condition one, or this Nissan Quest here, just because it has high mileage of 90,000 miles. You get all the features you need in a van for you and your family, but you're only paying $9,000. Like, that's what enthuses me about a car.
Yeah.
That's, I don't care how nice a car is. I don't care what features the car has. I care specifically, normal cars rather. I care specifically about the most utility for the least amount of money. And
bang for your buck.
That Nissan Quest fit that bill. There was no better deal for a vehicle in that price segment, right? So if every vehicle I was selling was like that, maybe I would have liked it a little more. But it was all. I mean, I couldn't justify spending that much money on a used car, and Honda's resale values are just through the roof. So,
Okay.
I mean, the people there were nice. The old men I worked with were just old men, kind of car salesmen. They weren't. They were as to be expected. That all the personalities were as to be expected. Everyone was nice. It's not like anybody was real smart, like super smarmy. They're a little smarmy.
But it wasn't necessarily
really
the people there working that drove you away from it or anything like that. It wasn't.
Yeah, no. And my uncle David was excellent boss, and he. The only thing I would say is that he really doesn't know how to motivate me as a human being. Like he motivates people through kind of a like, man, this guy right here, he's selling 200 cars a month. Blah blah blah. Look at what you could do. Like that is the exact opposite of the motivation that motivates me.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you expect me to do something I can't do. Well, I guess I'm not going to try now.
Okay.
That's how my brain works. It's pretty toxic, but that's just how it is. I would get more motivation out of, I bet you can't sell 15 cars this month, than like, oh, you're so good, you're the best. Like, he would always talk me up even though I've done nothing. And it's like, we both know that I've done nothing. I've sat here. I can rebuild a carburetor now, probably. Like, that's about the only life skill I've earned. It's the only thing I've done with my job. So I can rebuild a Ford carburetor.
Did he understand when you were like, okay, it's not for me?
No, not really.
No.
He just said I didn't give it enough time. I didn't,
okay.
Stuff like that. Which, I mean, is that true? Maybe, but
you also know yourself to a certain degree,
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, and I'm sure if I could stomach sitting there and doing nothing, then I would have made a lot of money. I would have made much more money than I do now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one car sale, I covered half my draw. So, like, imagine selling 15 cars a month or 20 cars a month. But, like, it's just I don't have that drive, and I could not stand all the downtime. It's like Friday and Saturdays, I was actually working most of the time. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just go back and work Fridays and Saturdays.
You can't do that. You gotta be on.
Yeah.
You can't do like a part-time thing. It's like they have to staff for Saturdays.
Oh well.
So and the dealership was real nice. They fed every employee lunch on Saturdays. The whole dealership was really nice.
Yeah.
Inventory was really nice. See, and some people like that's their dream job, is being paid for doing nothing.
Yeah, I've noticed a few of that in the chat. Like, yeah.
Yeah, on a certain level, you're not just getting paid to do nothing. You're getting your draw for doing nothing, which is barely minimum wage. So if you're sitting there not selling cars, you're not making enough money to live. So it's not as if I'm making the wage of 15 cars doing nothing,
Do you think it's something that you would have wanted to do if, like, say you were a bigger, busier used car sales lot that just always had people coming in sort of, almost all the time?
Well, if it was busier, then by logic, you would have more salesmen, and by that logic, it would be more competitive, and then I think that would probably be not a great environment for me.
Okay.
Like if I was the only salesman on a big lot full of hoopties, that would be the ticket. But like I've honestly thought about not, like, since I've I guess I'll move into my fleet update. I'm down to 3 cars now.
3? That's the least you've had in years.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know if I had done it by the time of the last podcast, but I sold the Cavalier. Yeah, I sold the truck a while ago. I dumped it on someone to go to church with. Update on the truck: he has since fixed it and resold it for $5,000. So God bless him.
How much did you sell it to him for?
2.
Okay.
But I didn't. I sold it to him for 2 because I didn't want to have crackheads in my front yard looking at my truck. So I did it as because I didn't want the stress of selling the truck.
Okay.
I sold the Cavalier to some very close friends of mine who needed a car, and it's still running and driving and living its life. It needs an oil change next week, so I'm gonna take it to my mechanic for them and get that sorted. And then I sold the Focus that I bought to a kid that I work with at Domino's. Actually, he's 16. I'll give you a little background on him. He's 16, and his car that he was driving before he bought my Focus was a 1993 Geo Metro convertible. If you know what that is, if you don't, please look it up. It was a Geo Metro convertible. It was a little 5-speed, and all of the synchronizers in the transmission were destroyed. He had to double clutch into every gear.
Oh wow!
So, and he drove that little thing, man. All 5 horsepower, that 3-cylinder. He drove it, man. But see, he was, he's 16 and he was needing a responsible adult-ish car. He needs 4 seats so he can take his friends and all that. But he didn't want to give up a manual, and it's really hard to find a car like the Focus, especially one that's low mileage. Like mine was, has all the features you need, and is well taken care of with documentation. So I sold it to him, or his parents rather, for $2,800, which was $1,000 more than I had in it. So
how much? How what are your? You've got the 2 MX-5s and the Accord.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
And that's how it's going to be, because I got a new life plan for this year going forward. I'm paying off this house that I'm in right now. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
My mother and I, we've come to an agreement that we're going to pay off the house this year, and I think this is year 4 of her 13-year loan on the house, and we're going to pay it off this year. So
you're just going to basically use all of the money, extra money that you have to pay it off.
Yep. I mean, heck, I'm not shy about the numbers. We owe about, I think the total on the loan left is $27,000. I have, what do I have? I think I almost 12 right now, and then my mother has like 7, so we're about 10 to 8 from paying off the house.
Oh wow!
So because she wants to move to Birmingham, get a condo in Birmingham. That's always been her dream.
Okay,
is to go live in the city and walk around in the city. And I want to go to a restaurant, I'm gonna walk. Oh, I want to go to a bar, I'm gonna walk. Oh, I want to go to a store, I'm gonna walk. That's been her thing. She's always wanted that. So she's, my mother is going to leave the nest.
Your mother's it's funny how your mother is leaving the nest. You're not leaving the nest. That's normally meant to be the other way around.
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving, because I like this house. I like this house, and after we pay off the house, I'm gonna do some additions to I'm gonna get the property cleaned up and how I want it. I'd like to have a front deck built, get 2 rocking chairs, so it can be me in a forever empty rocking chair, and then.
So it's going to become. Is it going to become your house, or is it still going to be like essentially? Is it co-owned with you and your mum?
Yeah, it'll be co-owned, but I'll be the only one here for a long time.
And then she's going to be able to then freed up to go get like a I don't know, mortgage or loan or something to go live in the city. Okay.
Exactly. And then whenever it's time for her to, retire or whatever, she'll come back here, and I hope to God I can move out by then.
Okay.
By the time I'm 45, Um,
All right. Well, I mean,
but yeah,
that's a good.
that's my life. That's my life plan. We're moving forward. So no more cars. I'm not buying any more cars. Even though I offered to buy a customer's truck yesterday, I'm glad he turned me down.
Yeah, now you got to fight
but-
against that.
Yeah, now I have to. I offered him. I offered him cash money right there. He didn't take it. He liked his truck too much.
Wow.
But yeah,
Well,
so
good-
that's
good for
that's
you.
my life. That's my life plan going forward. I think it's I think it's a pretty good plan. But because my whole life, the decisions that I make, my mother has worked very hard to make sure that I don't struggle, right? And I think that if I do anything other than take full advantage of the hard work she's done, that would be a disservice to both myself and her. So I want to set my life up to where all of my expenses and bills can be paid on minimum wage. That's what I want to set my life up around, is that idea. Because I probably won't be, I'll be making more than minimum wage in whatever job or profession that I finally decide to do. So that's just extra money, right? That's extra money to do whatever I like with. So I feel like if I set my job, or if I set my life up around that number, then I'm always safe, essentially. Like there's always a job I can go get making minimum wage or near minimum wage, and I will be safe and secure and fed and clothed and happy and without financial worry.
God, what happened to Nos? Nos became all adult and grew up.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until one day he says he has a kid or something.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Baby on the way.
that's what would ruin my life.
Yeah,
That exactly right there is how I take all of my mother's hard work and I flush it down the drain. Right there. If I was to get a woman pregnant, that would every bit of it gone.
That's it. It must have been the self-help book.
No, the self-help book was actually pretty toxic. It was basically like the whole idea. What was it? Hold on, I'll tell you the book. This is okay. Nos's book club. What was it? 12 rule. No,
baby-faced bomber boy is now adult.
No, that's not
what
that wasn't it. It was the 10 times rule. The only difference between success and failure, and the entire thesis of this garbage book was to set goals 10 times higher than you ever think you can achieve, and to work 10 times harder than you ever think you could in order to achieve your goals.
So anti-you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it was,
and then you've come out of that and started doing the opposite, and your goal is to now be good on minimum and then go from there.
Well, here's the 10 times rule unveils the principle of massive action, quote unquote, allowing you to blast through business cliches and risk aversion while taking concrete steps to reach your dreams. That's so it's basically no risk aversion, just go. And that's not good. I don't agree with that at all.
Oh,
I can see you coming out with your own self-help book in like 10 years, just called like the bare minimum.
The bare minimum,
yeah.
That's what it's. I mean, that's the key to success, man. It seems.
But it feels like what you just said is like that's such a smart way to approach things. You get yourself okay and all set on at the minimum level, and then you take it from there rather than doing it the other way around, which
And I want to make no illusion here that somehow that my situation has come from like extensive hard work by myself. No, everything has been given to me by my mother. Okay, literally my entire foundation for life has been given to me by my mother. Okay. So, in her hard work. So I don't want there to be any illusion that I have earned really anything. Like, because if I was out on my own working the job that I do, I would be barely getting by. Yeah. Right? I would not have been in a position to even get the Accord. I would still be in the Cavalier to this day. I think I'm good enough at budgeting and keeping myself from buying things and going without. I think I'm good enough because of my childhood at that, that I would be okay, but I wouldn't be succeeding, right? Like I feel that I am now.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, for me to do anything other than fully take advantage of the situation to set myself up for the rest of my life, would basically make all of my mother's work worthless. And I don't want to do that. I think that would be very very rude of me
Yeah,
to
fair enough.
make my mother's life work worthless.
Yeah, gotta carry it on. So
yeah,
what happened when you went back to Domino's? Did they just welcome you back with open arms back into how you ended, or how you left, or what?
A little bit.
Not quite.
Yeah. Well, I had when I came back, I talked to the owner about becoming a manager because I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I would be a good manager. Like I'm good at my job. I know how to do just about everything. I've been doing manager duties well above my pay grade for over a year. So I talked to him about it, and like right now I'm making about $15 an hour average after taxes, being a delivery driver, right, with tips and my check and everything like that. I'm
because
making about $15 an hour.
weren't you like delivery manager, like you were head of the delivery drivers or something, and didn't you say that was like
it was a fake title, so Jimmy
it didn't really exist, but
which my boss's name is Jimmy, so I'll refer to him as Jimmy. But I talked to old Jimmy boy, and my idea was going to be that I was going to manage 3 or 4 shifts a week, and then like drive sometimes too, to kind of supplement the pay cut that I was going to take.
Yeah.
Right. And then hopefully I would work from my starting wage as a manager up to something that's more equivalent. Right. That was my idea. Yeah, well, being a manager was the last thing I wanted to do before because the pay rate was so low, and I was hoping that, my boss has opened a new store, the store's making more money, people have gotten some raises, so I was hoping that things might have changed, and they haven't. Like, I came to him with the very reasonable, in my opinion, starting wage of $12.50 an hour, which is still, like, not great for a manager, and it's $3 less an hour before taxes than I'm making now. And he wanted to start me at 10, and we were way too far apart.
Okay.
Way too far apart on that. So,
you're still delivering but earning better, really, than you would have done as a manager.
Yeah, I'm still like, but our conversation, like, the point of the conversation was like, I really enjoy my job at Domino's. I really enjoy being there. I like the people. And the point of the conversation was really like, is there any growth left in this business for me, right? And obviously at a starting wage of $10 an hour and $12 an hour being the maximum that the managers are making right now, there's no more room for financial growth within
that's it.
That occupation, which is a real shame because I like it and I'm good at it. And if he would pay people a reasonable wage, that store could run a lot better. But it's like, why pay someone like $14 an hour to have the store at 100% efficiency when you pay somebody $10 an hour to run it at 60% efficiency, and you're still making the same amount of money? Like, there's no financial incentive. I mean, this is really just a microcosm for the downfalls of capitalism. But there's no motivation for him to pay his employees a sustainable wage because that's just less money for him. And he has this saying that the pizza keeps on turning, man. No matter what happens, the pizza keeps turning. And he's done a couple speeches like, you see me, man, I'm a big cog, right? I'm a big cog in the pizza machine, and all you got your little cogs, And if you're a weak cog, you get ground up and spit out by the machine. But if you're a big, strong cog, like,
is this for real? Is this a real person that exists and says these things? Really,
this is a real person. Yes.
Running a pizza place. Okay.
Wow.
You should give him the book.
Yes.
No, he lives his life by this book, dude. He has. I'm sure he has read this book.
But something that I was going to say earlier in the conversation when you were talking about the dealership stuff, opening your own dealership or opening your own Domino's franchise seems like more of the way to go, to have, if you want to do a job right, but also be actually doing stuff all the time.
Well, what I would really like to do, I was going to mention this earlier, and I got sidetracked on me selling the car. I would really like to maybe keep driving for Domino's, but have enough spare money where I could like buy a car, do some stuff to it, drive it for 3 months delivering pizza, and then sell it for a profit, and do that with like multiple cars. Because any car that I would buy would be one that I'm interested in, one I'm enthusiastic about, and one that I'm better to sell.
Yeah.
So
like you see these things where I think it was on TV every so often where someone will take a bad car or a bad house and make it a little bit better and sell it for a profit, and then get a slightly better house and flip that for a profit and end up with lots of money at the end of it, sort of thing.
So wait a minute. So you were a delivery person, then you went to a car salesman. Now you want to be delivery person, but also car salesman.
Well, the car. Well,
but on your own terms.
Car salesman, it would just be a way, because like driving more vehicles is something that I'm very enthusiastic about. I mean, I've tracked every vehicle that I've ever driven in a journal that I keep. So that should tell you
like driving
review
vehicles.
the cars or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that too. I mean, but there's so many car reviewers out there. It's like we've got Doug. Like I'm
but you're like reviewing, like, for lack of a better word, trash, right? Like, not
most of the vehicles. I could get you the list if you cared, but
you could combine that delivering for Domino's with putting a camera in whatever car that you're currently driving at the time. You make a few little videos out of it and talk about the car, buy the car, and then sell it again, and then get another car, and there would be constant new content because there's always new cars. Plus, you'd make the money off selling the cars and make money from doing the delivery.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, I've honestly thought about like going to technical school and like being a mechanic. Like I wouldn't enjoy being a mechanic, but it would be a talent and a skill that would serve what I do enjoy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I definitely don't want to do car detailing. I hate washing cars. Oh my gosh. The happiest I was when I worked for Honda was when my uncle asked them if they would detail my car for me for cheap, and I got a full detail for $100, and the Accord has never looked nicer.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was my most excited. Oh, and I got a shift knob through the Honda parts department because my shift knob was broken. So,
well, at least you got something out of it.
yeah, I got paid a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would not be a bad little life. Eventually build a garage or something.
Yeah.
And just buy a car, drive it for a couple months, fix its problems, and then sell it, and just keep that on a rotation. Just buying late 90s to early 2000s stick shift cars and just buying and selling them. Like I think that would be a fun life.
It's
certainly not a career, but it'd be fun.
Give it a go.
Maybe once I get the house. Once
you get the house paid off, experiment a little bit.
Yeah, because I want to get this home and this property to, like, that's my main goal in life right now, is to get this home and this property where I want it, right? To where it's going to be my forever home, right? And then or nearly forever, and then start seeing what I want to do. And I think that I can accomplish that in the year. I think I can get up enough money to pay off the house, get a deck built, and clean up the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched JR go. I watched, like, what do you think has inspired this? Like, people like Hoovie's Garage and JR Go, and watching the Car Wizard on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, that's that world I live in, and I really like it. So
cool. Well, good. Well, I'm looking forward to more updates as things continue to hopefully improve in your life.
Hopefully, I don't go through any tragedies. That'd be a real shame. Oh, I almost got in a wreck in the Indy Miata the other day, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was I looked down and I looked up, and there was a car stopped in front of me, and I locked my little brakes and I initiated understeer. I was like, I'm understeering. So I came off the brake, and I turned off and had to go in the grass to avoid it. I avoided a car by about that much. So luckily I am a tame racing driver. Because any other normal driver would have just stood on the brakes and skidded right into the back of that car.
There was one time where I was happy that I knew a little bit about driving and racing more so than an average person would, because I almost crashed the Corsa one time driving home from work on a sort of downhill, hilly, windy road, and I kind of looked down and then looked back up again and realized I think I was changing the radio or something like that, and I looked back up and
that's what I was doing too.
I was in the verge on the side of and if I ended up, instead of, you would normally think to like put on the brakes, if I'd done that, it would have just sent me further into it, and I'm probably, it was quite a steep verge off the side, so I might have rolled it or whatever, but I actually put on the power, spun it a little bit, but with front wheel drive, so the power helped me get it back again. And I think I ended up like sideways on the road, stopped or something like that, and then got going again. But at least I didn't roll it.
Yeah, and I mean, genuinely, like this. I mean, it's silly to think about, but like all the racing games I think we play, like at least for me, from people that I've seen, like that I've ridden with or whatever, that get into near accidents or whatever, they're always like the adrenaline right there in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like they're scared immediately whenever they're, like they lock the brakes or whatever, or they do something that they shouldn't have, or they lose traction. Like they're scared right then. Like with the video games that I have played, like I found that in all of my near crash or mistake experiences, I'm not like that, and I think that's pretty good. I've always seemed to be composed and make the right moves. Like, so
one of those things where racing games can actually have a impact on life, I suppose.
But then again, I mean, you drive on a sim rig for years before you drive a real car. You build those motor functions and what you expect, I think.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sat here with like no driving license, no car. It's like, that sounds great. Oh man,
Josh, I want you to come to my house and drive my MX-5. Come on.
That's a long way.
Come on.
Cheaper to get a car.
But then you won't get to hang out with me, and that's the whole point.
We need to see some progression. We've seen progression from the start of this podcast years ago. Nos, come up. We've seen RDT go from whatever it was, uni to jobs, and we need to see Josh now see that progression to get a car, start driving it everywhere. On the road trip, he can do some driving. We'll all meet up at Nos's place and drive all of his cars. Like, this is what we need.
Would be nice. Maybe someday.
So there is something that is on the list of things to talk about that is relating to life story of Hammer, and certainly I'm curious to know what this was, what happened.
I saw a tweet about it yesterday.
Yeah, I for those that didn't see my tweet last night, I accidentally created myself my own escape room in my own house last night. So to set the scene a little bit, I had finished what I would call a hard day's work, right? I'd worked for 7.2 hours, because that's my contracted rate, 7.2 hours. And then I went straight into a Fall Guys beta, which was incredibly frustrating. And then I did a big old stream. I did a stream, and then I was like, right, okay, cool. I'm going to grab myself some dinner. It's midnight. Grab myself some dinner. And then get myself ready for bed. So went off to the bathroom, brushed my wee teethies, just give them a wee brush and get some mouthwash and whatnot. Went to go out the door, and I couldn't get out of the bathroom door. So basically, the way my lock works, it isn't one with a bolt. It's one that stops the handle going down. Right? So I try to like push it down, and like maybe it's the lock that's fucking up. So I grab the lock and like try to, jiggle it about and jiggle the handle and stuff to try and get it out. Nothing's happening. So I'm like, crap. So then obviously I go into solutions mode, because that's what I do. I go, right, what have I got that could get this fucking handle off the door?
Well, you got to MacGyver your way out of here.
Yeah, exactly. MacGyvering my way out of there. So I was like, right, I've got absolutely no tools in my bathroom. So like, because nothing ever goes wrong in my bathroom.
Yeah, why
This is
would
the
you
first
need
thing
to
that's
tools
gone wrong
in
in
your
my bathroom.
Yeah.
Why would I have tools in my bathroom? So I've got to improvise, right? So the only thing that I can find is an incredibly small pair of scissors that I use to trim my beard. And I'm like, right, maybe I can use this as a screwdriver. So like I go in and realize it's a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be difficult. So I jab it in and like open the blades a little bit to separate to try and get in. But as soon as I try to turn it, the scissors like pretty much buckle and try and collapse. I'm like, oh shit,
God.
what am I going to do? Right. So luckily I had charged my phone just before I went in there. It had just come off charge. So like I get on chat with Jesse and I'm just like, I think I may have a situation here like this. And we had just been joking earlier in the day. Do you remember when I locked myself out of my bloody flat? Do you remember?
I remember you telling us a story about that.
Yeah. So I locked myself out of my flat a couple of years ago, and we had been joking with that earlier in the day, and she came back with "Where's your keys?" like that, and I was just like, well, it's kind of funny you should say that. I'm locked in my own bathroom at the moment. And she's just like, no fucking way. What?
Oh my God.
So I'm like, she's like, have you got this, and this, all of the stuff that I'd already tried, like that. And I'm just like, I haven't got any of that stuff. It's just like, have you got a hairdryer? I was just like, not in my bathroom. No, like, I don't dry my hair in my bathroom. Like, you've got to try and like, warm the lock up a little bit and whatnot. I was like, oh,
melt the metal inside the lock.
Actually, maybe that might work because my flat is fucking weird. It doesn't have like a radiator in the bathroom. It's got like like the sort of heater that you would put under your desk to warm your feet. Okay. It's got like one of those mounted on the wall for some reason. Okay. Even weirder, I've got one in my kitchen too. Very strange. Don't understand why. Anyway, stuck that on to try and warm up the room a bit, just in case, I don't know, like the metal had contracted or stuff. I've had problems.
You don't want to starve to death in your bathroom and be cold.
Exactly. Exactly.
You want to at least
at least I had water. So I wouldn't have probably died. But and like I'm like, all right, okay, let's try this. Try it. Heat up the room. So like I stuck the heater on and I was waiting, and as I was waiting, I was getting more and more and more panicky. I was like, "Fuck! What am I going to do if I can't get out of here?" Yeah. I'm like, It's Friday night. I'm not going to get anybody out from my letting agency to come and get me out of this fucking bathroom. What am I going to do? And if somebody comes out like on Saturday, they're going to charge me a small fortune to get me out. And like I had just taken an Amazon delivery, so like I had like boxes of like really heavy stuff in front of my front door, and like they were going to have to try and get in the front door and everything. I was like,
all of this was going through your head while you're waiting for the heat up.
I was like, oh god. So like I got down on the floor. By this time I was like, my eye, like it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer in the room. I'd worked a full day and I was getting really, really tired. So I was like, right, I'm just going to get down on the floor and just have a wee. And then I realized that like the heat was stopping halfway down the room, and it was like really cold on the floor. So I was like, right, get a bath towel. So I got a bath towel and shoved it under the door to make sure all the drafts were stopping getting out and everything. And so the room was warming up, and I was just like, right, I'm going to try it again. I try it again. Doesn't move. I was like, fuck. So I'll leave it a couple more minutes. Start praying to insert random deity here, see if that works. So I went up to it again after a few minutes, tried it, and it worked. And I was just
Wow.
like, fuck.
And then you immediately replace the door handle, right?
Oh no, I've not replaced it. I just don't close it when I go in. I mean, that's that would be a sensible thing to do. Yeah. So, like,
heating it up actually.
After getting out, I had such a because we've been in lockdown for nearly a year now. You don't really have those moments where you get adrenaline dumps really hard. So, like, getting out of that bathroom, I had the biggest dump of adrenaline I'd had in over a year, and I was just like, yes, I got out of this stupid bathroom that I've been stuck in for like an hour.
Oh my god!
I've managed to get out. Yes, like that. And then because of that, I couldn't get to sleep for the whole night.
Of
I was
course.
super tired. And yeah, that's why I was tired. For pre-show watchers, that's why I was tired. So yeah.
So wait, so this happened last night?
This happened in the early hours of this morning. Actually,
wow, okay.
Yeah, I got out at like quarter to 2 in the morning.
Hot off the presses story.
Yeah,
Jesus.
absolutely.
Oh god.
Oh,
Well, it's good that you got out, and you didn't have to, do the
unbelievable.
podcast from the bathroom. You would have had enough phone chat for it, I suppose.
I know, I know. I was worried as well because, like, I've got if I wasn't getting out for the whole weekend, I've got my vaccine scheduled for Monday.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh fuck, if I miss that, oh no,
no.
I've been waiting for it for so long.
Oh my god, like the thought process, like guys, it's crazy how different people think.
Yeah.
Like if I was in that situation, I would not even be thinking ahead that far.
You know what? Usually I wouldn't be like that. It's very telling of something that's happened to me, because like usually I'm able to work out a solution to get out of it, but once you've run out of those solutions, it's dark times.
Yeah. And especially
It's some
if
dark times
it was the end of a long day and you were already tired, and it's like, it's more difficult to function at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you just take a nap on the bathroom floor, wake up in the morning, call some kind of public service, some kind of locksmith or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could just call the fire.
The fire brigade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the fire brigade because they'd destroy the doors. I'd get a locksmith.
Yeah. Very fair enough. The locksmith to break his way into your house.
Yeah. Well,
it's been done before.
It's good that you actually got out of it at least. I think. Yeah. It's a funny story now at least, rather than being still in there.
Am I a robot, or is everyone else a robot?
Yeah, I'm a robot too.
Oh yeah, we're all robots.
Excellent.
I'll switch this. Hang on.
Yeah.
So Discord's decided to...
Every intergalactic planetary.
So this isn't any of our connections or anything. This is Discord. It seems.
This is Discord.
Discord's pooping.
Yeah, Brough, you're gonna have to change the server region. You locked me out of that, so. Oh wait, it's fixed. I think.
Oh, is it?
Oh, we're back.
It seems to be fixed.
Oh, I was writing beep boop on my. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh whoa, you can do that. Whoa, that's crazy.
Well, not with OBS Ninja. That's XSplit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job on getting
out. Nice start to the weekend. Absolutely.
You'll sleep well tonight.
I hope so. I really do.
So we've got like some stuff to talk about based on things that have happened in the gaming space.
Gaming.
Who
games anymore?
Do you play video games, Nos?
Sometimes.
Yeah, does it mean that you could actually, start getting into some racing and endurance racing on iRacing and,
Yeah, I am mainly working evening shifts, so I could do stuff in the day. I've been trying to. I've been trying, but I've started. Well, I've just started walking in the evenings before work. So
oh yeah,
it's a walking trail. by my work. So I've been walking. I'm going to do that. I'm going to I need to be the best version of myself.
Oh,
Yes.
that ain't that
So
ain't
when
that
women
actually.
reject me, it's their fault instead of mine.
Okay. Well, that
Okay, I love how disappointed that was. I'm so happy. So happy that was the response.
Well, the part of being the best version of yourself is putting your talents to good use, and you have a steering wheel and pedals and shift set that you love.
My best talent, a steering wheel.
Yeah, I was gonna say these are his talents.
No, you have the ability to and the functions to use your talents behind the wheel for virtual racing.
I like how this has progressed. Now it's Broughy recruiting people into iRacing.
This is a cult.
Well,
Radicalize this man.
If we're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it properly.
What was that? Sorry. I was chatting
Do you
with
have a
people in
wheel
chat
hammer?
I do, but I've never used it.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect time.
It's kind of purchase.
Well, we get Nos involved.
I
then
would
Nos
like to
persuades
start playing video games again.
iRacing is a code confirmed. I know. Yeah, I recommend giving it a try. It would be fun to do team racing events with all of us.
Have you played it at all, Broughy?
Played what?
Once? iRacing.
Oh no, I haven't played it since since getting COVID, essentially. Because then I wasn't playing it for then, and then I thought, well, then all the plans happened for this new rig. So then I thought, well, I'll just wait for that, and then So I haven't played it since last year.
Okay.
I'd play with a controller.
Oh no!
Car
so
86.
you were that guy. That was you.
That was a keyboard and mouse, Nos. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I think the most interesting thing about your new sim rig, Bruff, is that you're managing to get a 32-inch monitor on the same piece of desk as a PS5.
yeah.
It's quite the effort.
The PS5 did we did have to take out a few windows to get it into the house. It's that big.
Yeah.
You have to lift it in like a piano.
Yeah. We need to get a crane to lift it in. Well, speaking of the PS5, there are shortages of the. It's amazing that I managed to get one. I got the timing right, but it is shortages of all the microchips that they short of, silicone chips.
Yeah. Just anything, everything.
Everything. What is the cause of that? I don't actually know why there's such a shortage of chips.
I'm not sure. The easy thing to say is herd or COVID, but I'm not actually sure myself.
It's an artificial shortage so that the scalpers can charge $3,000 for a graphics card. All right.
It's all silicon. Like even car manufacturers are having problems.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's affecting everything.
I think they're all blaming each other as well, because like the car manufacturers are like, oh, it's because of consoles, and yeah.
It's like that one Spider-Man meme with all the Spider-Men pointing at each other.
Yeah.
Is that what the situation's like?
Problem is that everyone uses that stuff pretty much. Yeah, everything.
I guess there's just like a temporary shortage in production, but because of the way like the system works, it's like just in time manufacturing and stuff like that. We're just like constantly behind now and just can't.
And there
isn't more production than there is supply, right? Like demand.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff has come out pretty much all at the same time, I guess.
At the same time that there's a slight shortage of them, like temporary slowdown due to COVID, so it's just exacerbated.
Everyone wants it as well because everyone's at home and shit. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure you want to be putting your stonks in silicone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just buy some silicon.
Stick to GameStop. It's going to the moon.
It's already been to the moon and it came back and it's going to go again.
We're going to Mars this time with Elon. Elon's going to take us to Mars. We're going.
Oh, dear.
I like the stock.
I was actually surprised when we started talking about that in the pre-show that the game stock is going back up again, because I thought it was all over and done and dusted and that was it, and everyone had their fun.
Apes are strong together. We have diamond hands, okay? Rocket emojis. This is highbrow financial talk here.
I loved the saltiness of all the Wall Street guys though, like during all of this whole thing. You just love to see it.
Yes, I love to see rich people lose billions of dollars. That's my favorite thing.
I was more annoyed with my Twitter feed being taken over for like 3 or 4 days by GameStop. I just kept shouting at my phone, I don't care! It means nothing to me!
So, speaking of PlayStations, PlayStation mentioned that they're going to be bringing out a new PSVR headset. And they mentioned that it's going to come at some point, and that's pretty much it. There was no actual information about it, no dates, no nothing. Just they're working on a new PSVR headset. That's all. That's all they've got.
They managed to get quite a long article out of "We're working on a new PSVR headset." Could have really just put it in a tweet, but instead put it in a tweet and linked to an article.
I just bought the PSVR. Okay. Recently, we played it for the first time yesterday, and actually had.
I know you did. I've got footage of you. I've got a picture of you in your VR headset. You might not know that.
I do not know that. That's news to me. Sneaky sexy.
Yeah.
Don't you already have a Vive?
Yeah, but the Vive is set up in Zexy's office, and honestly it's a little bit more clunky, and PSVR is quite easy to sort out, and that's in the living room, and we're playing it together, and we bought games that are only on PlayStation or are just good to play together.
Speaking of only on PlayStation, not to derail too much, but like PlayStation's like their exclusives are coming to PC now.
Oh yeah, that was the thing that was announced.
That's actually pretty cool.
More PlayStation.
I mean, it was already sort of happening, right? Like there was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they tested the waters a little bit with a few
first,
things, right?
Which is kind of, where's my Last of Us? Come on, give me your one good game. Give me your one good game, Sony. Come on. I don't want Days Gone. I don't want a zombie game. Get at it. Well, I mean, Last of Us kind of zombie. Shh. All right, just give me Last of Us. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, Last of Us isn't good for a start, but God of War is really good. I recently played that in 4K 60 on my PS5, and my God, transformative. It was amazing. And I've already completed it.
So there's no longer any point of owning a console?
Was there ever?
No longer?
That does seem to be the case. Like, why would you own a console if you've got a PC? Just get all of your games on PC.
It's great. We are finally reaching the PC master race's vision of utopia. I'm here for it. I'm excited.
What did you think of Rush of Blood?
I only played the first level because it was getting kind of late when we started it, but it was good. It was good fun.
Yeah, that was my recommendation when Liz was talking about getting a headset. I was like, it's surprisingly fun.
Yeah,
like
you're actually shooting things and like
For those that don't know, it's like a PSVR exclusive title based in the mind of one of the characters that was in the original Until Dawn game. It's great. So you're basically in a roller coaster, but you've got guns, and you're shooting things as they go past, and you have to duck out the way of things. And
it was genuinely a fun experience. And I only played the first level, but that was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Actually, iRacing in VR.
One more thing for PSVR. The one thing that stood out in that Sony article was that you only have to connect via one cable with the new headset. As someone who's recently set up a PSVR, Broughy, how many cables?
I mean, there are many. It's very similar to the Vive in that respect. Like, there's a box, and then you plug everything into the box, and then the box plugs it, goes to the headset. But it didn't strike me as, it wasn't. Maybe it's because I've set up a Vive, but it wasn't overly complicated to set up. I thought the PSVR.
That's how my Vive is. It's not too bad.
But then, having one cable, if you just plug it straight into the PS5, say, that would be just so much better. Ideally, we're hopefully, I feel like VR really has a lot of potential. It's really good fun. We're still a good number of years away from a headset that isn't so big and so bulky, and one that is wireless. I know that there's already like the Quest that's wireless and things, but you want the higher fidelity of the screens with the wireless. It's going to take a few years to get there, but
Yeah, as a long-term VR fan, like I had the original Oculus development kit when it first happened.
Right.
I was very upset when Facebook bought Oculus, and I still am, because the Facebook headsets are so unbelievably good. Like the new Facebook, I think it's Quest 2 or whatever. And it's like fully wireless, and if you want, you can use a single USB cable to plug it into your computer and use the computer to render stuff, and there's like no extra tracking things or anything. It all just works. It's incredible. But you need to have a Facebook account, and if you have a fake Facebook account, you get banned, and then it turns into a brick.
Yeah, that was one of the, like, I've heard so many good things about the Quest, but I would never buy one just because of the whole Facebook integration that you have to have. It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
Our only hope is like crackers to like bypass all the Facebook stuff in the headset, but
it's so annoying. But yeah, Anthem, another bit of gaming news. Anthem was officially cancelled. They were going to go back to the drawing board and recreate it and make it all new and better, and then they cancelled that, and it wasn't worth it.
Good decision, from what I understand.
Say again?
I said good decision, from what I understand.
Yeah, probably. Better to put it out of its misery. But Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yes, Mass Effect. Where's the Mass Effect playthrough, Broughy? Look, when is it? When is it? On launch? Are you doing it on launch? I'll be there the whole time. I swear.
See, I don't know whether I should.
Yes,
it could get really, because it could get really boring, and at least when I first played the Mass Effect games.
Sorry, it can get really boring.
It could get really boring.
Here comes Hammer. Here he comes. Oh, you can see him. He's way over there. Uh-oh, he's going to tell us how it's boring.
Oh, look, it's Nos taking the piss out of stuff you shouldn't really take the piss out of. Whoa.
That's the point. It was, but like, for me, when I played through all the Mass Effect games, and I played through them many, many times, and I've put so many hours into them, I used to go through every little last bit, every side mission, every bit of dialogue, and it's like, that would take so many hours for streaming, first of all, and I don't think people want to watch that. Like,
I mean, I streamed the entire trilogy. And
here's the content, Broughy. You learn the speedrun. Then you have the opposite problem.
I do not want to ruin that game for me by learning to speedrun it.
Report to the ship.
Have they? I don't know if any of the existing like glitches, if you're going to do it glitched speedrun, I don't know if any of them would still work. I don't know if it's based on the same engine, or
probably
I don't know what they're doing with it.
I don't know anything about Mass Effect or any of it, so I'm not sure.
We watched Gears of War, didn't we? Yeah, I suppose that's true. I don't know. I'm considering a Mass Effect playthrough, because they are like second only to Portal for my favorite games of all time. So,
okay, well, I'll put it into perspective for you. I streamed the whole trilogy and did all of the side content in every one of the games. It took me 4 days, 18 hours of stream time. So,
yeah, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours.
And it's not the sort of thing you want to do a little bit of and then stop and then do it again, because you won't remember anything, right?
No, I remember when, I think it was Mass Effect 3 came out, I ended up playing it for like, in the first 36 hours of owning the game, I played it for like 24 hours or something. I only stopped to sleep, I think. And
I love it when you get a new game like that and it does that to you.
Yeah, I think I've very rarely experienced that in my lifetime.
Yeah, I remember when Witcher 3 came out and I got it like free with my graphics card. I just fell off the face of the planet for like a week straight. I just did nothing but Witcher 3. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a streamer. I need to do speedruns at the end of it. Came back to life. Yeah,
I'm not really that excited about Mass Effect 2 and 3 being remastered, because like I don't really feel as though they need it. But Mass Effect 1 being redone is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Because Mass Effect 1 is like really archaic in a lot of its ways and its graphics and whatnot. So
It came out in 2008, like not too long after the first Gears, and that period of time was very early on for third-person shooter type things.
Yeah.
Really.
But I am concerned that more of the a lot of the classic RPG elements are going to be lost, I think.
Well, they're meant to be making exactly the same game, just updated visuals. I think, like it. I don't know.
Well, I know for a fact the combat's going to be different. It's going to be more like Mass Effect 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're updating
Visual
movement
map.
and things, I suppose, and making it a consistent like UI and everything all the way through the 3 games. But Mass Effect 1 was my favorite of all 3 of them. So
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
maybe
Why
I just
don't you then just stream your favorite one
yeah
and see how it goes.
I'll stream
See
Mass
what the
Effect 1
reception's like.
and see what happens. Yeah,
Mm.
with
Let
no
me see
pressure to do
which
2 or
one
3.
took the longest. Let me see here.
Mass Effect 1 must easily be the shortest. There was so much content in 2 and then even more in 3.
So as someone who's never played a Mass Effect and doesn't know anything about it, except that the ending was bad and there's a suicide mission.
Okay, well those are 2 different. That's 2 different games actually.
Right. Okay. Should I get this and play it? Like I've.
Yes.
Do you like sci-fi games set in space?
Yeah,
Where
it's a
you-
wee bit like The Witcher,
Sure.
but in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
I
bit.
mean, yeah, I could do sci-fi. I mean, I played StarCraft for a long time.
It's one of those immersive story experiences where there's a lot of character building and yada yada. Like
Okay.
it's not. But that's not to take away once you're playing Mass Effect 2 and 3, the combat is legitimately enjoyable. Mass Effect
Right.
1, but Mass Effect 2
Well,
and 3, like the gameplay is legitimately enjoyable. That's the biggest hurdle I had for Mass Effect 1 for me, is that the gameplay just wasn't enjoyable
Right.
for me.
Well,
Um
with these sort of things, like Witcher 3, the combat isn't that great, but whenever I get one of these games, I just whack it up to the hardest difficulty and play, and I just bash my head against whatever walls need to be bashed until I win. Right, like that's enough gameplay for me as long as it's hard. So
It is. Yeah, I definitely recommend giving it a look anyway, because there's some fantastic games, such good universe, character building. It totally puts you into the world and the universe that they've created, the galaxy.
okay, just feel like I'm 10 years too late.
Well, no, get the
No, you're
Legendary
not.
Edition when it comes out. Later this
Yeah,
year, and
yeah.
at least you'll
And
get Mass Effect 1
I
without
would say
the
you're
drawbacks.
not even 10 years late if you played the trilogy right this second. I mean, like I said, Mass Effect 2 and 3 still hold up right now as good games, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mass Effect 1 does not, because it's just
Right.
the combat is so dated. But
That
Mass
would be
Effect
where
2
I
and
have to
3
start.
Yeah, but then ideally the Legendary Edition will fix that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the
it still
Legendary's
holds up
it's
from
gonna
a
be perfect.
story perspective and an RPG talking dialogue perspective, all that kind of stuff. It's more just the combat and the movement and things. But the Legendary
Brock,
Edition should sort
I
that
can't
out.
remember. Are you male Shep or fem Shep? Which one do you go for?
Male.
Do you change his look at all?
No.
My man, yes, you playing the game right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta
Report to
keep
the ship.
it. What?
Report to the ship. We'll bang. Great.
Yeah, I'm actually.
People are-
I'll do the first game on stream. Let's do that.
Someone in
I'm
chat saying
there
I
for
hate
it.
space games. You heard me on this very podcast saying how much I loved bloody Star Wars Fallen Order. That was great. Enjoyed that.
That
good.
was a very good game.
Loved it. More of
Um,
that, EA. Come on.
So, also 2 new Pokemon games were announced yesterday. Josh, you had some
Yeah.
negative things to say about this. I don't really. I mean, it was Diamond and Pearl remakes. I never played Diamond and Pearl, so they kind of like passing me by. And then a new game that's related to it or something, but they didn't look that good.
The man with a load of Pokeballs in his background didn't know it was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon.
I knew
yesterday.
that.
Oh, okay. All right. Then. That's fine.
He's also got them on his t-shirt.
Oh yeah, you're wearing a Pokemon shirt.
It's true.
Didn't even. Yeah, I mean, I never played those games either, but yeah, the remakes. So Sword and oh god, where do I start? So when the Switch came out, right? I was excited to get back into Pokemon because it was going to force Game Freak into making an actual normal console, not a handheld, a normal console Pokemon game. And it's going to be like way better because it's not being restricted by being on like a tiny device anymore. No more 3DS or whatever, right? And I always maintained that I would be excited for any Pokemon game that comes out on it. They released Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu first, and that seemed like it was a good step up, right? Like the Pokemon were actually in the world and running around instead of just being in the bushes.
I enjoyed
and
that. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was obviously like just a cash in to tie in with Pokemon Go, obviously, but it was still good. Like I enjoyed playing through Gen 1 at any time. So, and then that made me even more excited for the next one. Sword and Shield come out, right? And then even bigger evolution over that. In some ways, right? Like a lot of it is like pretty restrictive, like normal Pokemon, but in 3 dimensions. Like you can't move the camera. You're like just running down thin lanes through like a village, and you can't, explore or anything. There's no movement. You're just walking, and that's it. But then you get into the wild areas, the bits like in between the cities, where the big selling point is you can move the camera around, and you can like it's open world, and you explore and stuff. And that was okay. Like, it was good for a first attempt. Like, whatever. Seemed good.
I enjoyed it, but I haven't wanted to play it again or anything. It was okay, but I played it through and then I was done with it, sort of thing.
The games are way too easy. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely
stupidly easy. I got into the competitive multiplayer, and I got like I got like max rank and stuff, and I was ranked like 1000th best in the world or whatever. So I did that stuff with Shuckle. I got max rank with a Shuckle one time. That was fun. But the PvP is one thing, but I want like an actual PvE experience and stuff. But anyway, I know it's for like children and stuff. It's fine. But then it's like just wait for the next one because Game Freak will finally have it all together, and it will all be like wild area, open world stuff, right? Well, then this 25th anniversary comes out. Everyone is really excited for the Gen 4 remakes, the Diamond and Pearl stuff. The competitive community expects to move from Sword and Shield to Diamond and Pearl, like all the the video game tournaments, the official, Pokemon esports stuff. And then the trailer happens, and it's like, and they've gone backwards, right? The Diamond and Pearl gameplay trailer that they showed, it's like a chibi art style, and everything's tiny, and it looks like a DS game again. And they've gone backwards, and all the mechanics and stuff seem
it looked reminiscent of like the Let's Go kind of style of the game, really.
Yeah, but it's even more like DS than that, right? Like, they've got even further back.
I only took a quick glance at it, to be honest.
You're like your little tiny sprites, so basically like 3-dimensional. The scale is like it was on the original Diamond Pearl stuff,
right?
And it's just like, and everyone's just like, what's going to happen to VGC? Like, are we going to stay Sword and Shield, or are we going to go to this? This looks way more limited, and is it going to use Let's Go mechanics or like actual competitive Pokemon mechanics? And then they announce Pokemon Legends or whatever, Arceus. I can't remember what that Pokemon's called, or whatever it's called.
Arceus.
And that is like the Pokemon game of everyone's dreams, like a big open world, Breath of the Wild-esque Pokemon game. It looked like, right? That's what they're going for. But they announced the release date as early 2022. And when I look at footage of that game, it looks like the best way I could describe it is like sometimes you see like social media posts from fat Pokemon fans like, hey, this is what Pokemon would look like an Unreal Engine, right? And it's like super like vertical slice gameplay of like there's 2 Pokemon in front of you, and you're in a bush and you throw a ball and you catch it and stuff. And it's like, stuff that one person has made in like a week of their spare time as a fan, right? It looked like that. It looked like they tried to just turn the graphics up to 11, but the Switch can't handle it, and it looks terrible.
So we turn it back down.
Yeah.
Wait, no, go back.
And they show like gameplay of like running through like empty environments with just like just empty towns and stuff like that. And they do show Pokemon a little bit, but they're updating at like half refresh rate. They're like jumpy and stuff. Like, it's hard to explain, but and then they show like a character hiding in a bush. They throw the ball. It sort of vaguely goes near one of the Pokemon. There's a little animation where it goes in the ball, and the other Pokemon that sat there staring right at it doesn't move, doesn't have any animations, just sat there watching its friend be caught or whatever. And it looks like it's been in development for like a month or something. And it's supposed to come out in like a year. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It looked like a tech demo, right? It looked like Nintendo announced their new console, and here's the Pokemon Company to show what it can do on it, right? It looked like that, not a game that's coming out in a year. So,
it's insane that they would release something like that from a trailer perspective.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, were they just rushing it for the 25th anniversary? But if they were, then why is it being released in a year, right? Like, are they just saying it's going to be released in a year and it's actually 2 years, lol?
It'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes out, if it's still just as bad.
It's crazy. And I forgot to mention, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, they're being outsourced to the company that they contracted to make Pokemon Home, the like storage app on your phone to like store Pokemon in cloud-based or whatever. But Game Freak, the main like Pokemon developer, is making the new Legends game, but it's just not their strength. Like, Game Freak are stuck just making like like handheld games. You know, they started with like Game Boy and stuff, and they got big and they followed the Nintendo handhelds all the way through. And even like by the end of the 3DS, they were still like kind of behind the curve.
Yeah.
And now this jump to Switch, it just hasn't. Like, Let's Go looked good, and then Breath of the Wild, it's pretty chuggy in those wild areas, right? And it's the textures are pretty bad, and it's not that great. And now this new Legends, they're just reaching, and they just don't have the technology for it. Like, I don't know.
They're falling behind.
Yeah, they're trying to make the game everybody wants, but the problem is it's being made by Game Freak, so
they don't have the ability to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. Like, they've got to do maybe in a year. Maybe I'm wrong, and the footage they've showed is like super early footage from a year ago for some awful reason. Who knows? But from what they showed, as someone who's made a lot of Game Jam games, looked exactly like that.
Oh god, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I hope I'm wrong, because I want an open world Pokemon game like everyone else, but who knows?
Good luck to Game Freak with that.
Yeah.
Also, one final bit of news, I suppose, is Google Stadia officially dissolved all of their first-party studios since we last did the podcast. So
yeah, Google Stadia went really well, didn't it?
Yeah, Google Stadia aren't making games anymore. Well, whether they were making anything in the first place, but it brought up these weird issues where like games need to be fixed because they're broken, but they've dissolved everything now, so the devs can't access the game anymore to fix it because there's no one who's like looking after it anymore. So
the devs don't exist, right?
The devs don't
locked
exist.
Out of the building, they can't get in.
Like, yeah,
like Stadia is so it was dead as soon as people started talking about how it was going to work in terms of you have to buy the games, but then they've just been from one bad thing to another. Yeah,
it was like... Go on.
Sorry, on you go.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk for ages, so you go first.
Oh, I was going to say, I need to find out who it was. There's somebody in my community that I put a bet on with that Stadia wouldn't last a year, and I saw that article and I was like, I'm going to have to pay up. But no, it's okay. It's still working as a service. It's just nothing's coming out from Stadia. Cool.
But yeah, like Jason Schreier, or however you say his name, has been reporting a lot on it, and everything he's saying is right. That Google wanted to buy their way into the game industry, right? So they made all this technology, which is great. It's based, they're good at that. They could do the technology, right? But what they can't do is, this is going to sound really cheesy, but hang on with me. They can't do the art of game development, if that makes any sense. They have software developers by the droves, loads of them, but they don't have like designers or artists or anything. So they had to just buy their way into this. So they bought several game development studios, just outright, just bought them and said, right, you're making Stadia games now. And they've tried to like manage them as like a software development. They've given them like a task, like here's what you're gonna make it, right? Software go.
Make
But it doesn't
video
work.
game.
That doesn't
Yeah.
work for game development, right? Like the game development houses need to like iterate and design internally and make stuff, and it takes time. And telling them to make something good for Stadia, right? Like you're giving them like a task, not just saying it's and it hasn't worked. And they've tried to make stuff and it hasn't gone their way. And now apparently they spent like millions of dollars paying like Rockstar and Ubisoft for ports of their games, which is insane. Like those companies are just raking in the cash from Google, and Google come out and they publicize it and like, we're gonna be a console beta, right? Like it's just so the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
And they just tried to buy their way in, and now all these game studios that they've bought that they don't want anymore, they've just chucked them away. And now there's like several game development studios have just been shut down after being bought by Google, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how badly they've mismanaged the entire thing.
Yeah, it's just all management issues and expectation issues and stuff.
I don't know how the guy who's heading it up, what's his name, Phil Harrison, like
his track record is superb.
I know. He was at Microsoft when they did all the Xbox One stuff, right?
Oh, but before that, he was at Sony when they did the PS3.
Oh my god!
PS3, Xbox One, Stadia, fantastic, good job.
How is he still in a job? Like he's clearly failed at everything he's tried to do.
Well,
it's so bad.
But he's looking for a job, and Google, sees a way to buy in, and they go for it. But
he does game stuff, doesn't he? Yeah, get him.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's been an executive for game things for insert X years, right? Like, yeah, it's a really bad situation. I'm kind of glad because I'm scared about cloud gaming and what that's going to do for video game preservation and ownership and all these other things that I know a lot of people don't care about. But at the same time, I'm sad for all the developers that have just been stupidly shafted. Like I think Jason Schreier said, is like, instead of paying like $20 million to Rockstar to get like Red Dead 2, right, which everyone can play on other things, why didn't they pay like some indie devs like $1 million to get like indie exclusives and just hope that they're good? Like if you pay enough, one of them's going to be good.
I think you remember do indie exclusives as well,
but not that many, right? Like
no. You're right. The budget would have been better spent getting more indies.
Like just
they should have done the Epic Games approach of like making some games exclusive, basically buying some games.
So do you remember Towerfall? Have you ever heard of that game?
Yeah.
Made, and then that dev went on to make Celeste. Yeah, they got funded by Ouya. Towerfall was an Ouya exclusive originally.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And then they released it as Towerfall Ascension on other platforms. If Ouya hadn't have failed and they had Celeste as an exclusive on that platform, well, that's perfect, right? Perfect for Ouya.
I don't even know what Celeste is.
It's like
I can't place it.
Oh, Celeste is like the biggest indie darling platformer that's right now, but. Maybe I have a skewed perception because it's like one of the biggest things in speedrunning right now.
Celeste on Steam, rating 10 out of 10, 30,000 reviews.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pretty big game. I guess you guys haven't heard of it, but
overwhelmingly positive. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not one for platformers, so this is like not my genre.
Right, okay. But like if Google had done that, right, just play for time, because these things take time, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just buy a video game and go. Just give it time. If they paid like a dev, like if I can't remember what the guy's name is, but if he was like an Ouya exclusive, like that would have actually sold Ouyas, like Celeste. Like people want to play that. So,
and they did it such the wrong way as well with the having to buy the game at full price rather than just making it a subscription service, which everyone thought it was going to be. Like,
yeah.
But the whole thing was just completely out of touch with everything.
So let's
wait. Is it not a subscription service and you have to buy the game?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, well, no, because they made it free, didn't they? But you've got to, if you have the game, if you buy the game, you can play essentially.
See how confusing
I
it
know,
is?
it's
What's the
so
point?
dumb. You had to
We have
pay
no
for like the
idea.
extra features like 4K that never actually materialized and things like that.
Like I've said it a few times, but when I first heard about this and it was going to get Red Dead Redemption 2, I thought of like my dad. Like my dad wants to play Red Dead Redemption 2 because of South Park of all things,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have anything to play it on. So it's just like, well, I could have recommended him Stadia if it wasn't so shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's open up the phone bank, shall we? If anybody actually wants to ask anything.
Yes.
If you don't, then we'll leave earlier. That's fine. You know,
Nah,
whatever you want.
nobody has any questions. I promise. Look, you could ask me questions about how the car dealership business works. I know enough. I know enough about that now.
There's nothing for our racing corner because I mean nothing's been happening. Formula E started this weekend, but apart from that, we're just waiting for it all to start up again.
You had
Come
wait,
on,
hang
get in
on.
the phone
Wait,
bank. Come on.
In Racing Corner, you had Alonso and his accident.
He did have a little accident, and like, didn't he break like fracture his jaw or something in a
Yeah,
cycling
fractured
accident?
his jaw, but
Yeah,
it's not bad enough to
Seems
stop
to
him
be
from
okay.
training.
Was that one wreck where he went like? Did he go through the fence and the halo saved his life?
No,
Is
no,
that
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 this
was
is
Grosjean at the
this
end
is-
of last season.
that's-
I think.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plus, we've already discussed it. On the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
We did. Okay. Well, I just saw
Yeah.
something the other day. I don't follow it.
You saw the simulation video, right?
No
Yes,
Formula
probably.
E spoilers in the chat. The Formula E second race happened at basically at the same time as this podcast started. So
Oh yeah.
none of us have seen it, and supposedly there's something major that's happened that I want to watch it later.
Yeah, I want to watch it as well.
Oh yes, famed racing driver Tiger Woods got into a big accident as well.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
very racing
that I know
corner
anything about
oriented.
it.
Well, he was rallying when he did it, right? Basically.
Oh, well, I suppose.
Yeah, I saw that he broke both of his legs, and then like the top comment on that post was, "That's all of his legs," and that's all I have to. That's all I have to add to that. Like, I just thought that was quite funny.
Well, that's a once in a lifetime comment on anything. You get that often. That's just like, yep, you've made it.
That's all of his legs.
So we can move swiftly on to Speedrun Corner, which I actually have a question about. I want to start Speedrun Corner this time.
Okay.
Oh.
I have a question that I've had for so long about speedrunning that I've never thought to actually ask the one person who speedruns on the podcast.
I just want you
Overlays.
to ask why.
Why?
Just-
Why? The overlays, right? That you know, the you get to a certain point and it lets you know whether you're ahead or behind and things like that. How do those work? Are they programmed specifically for certain games to pick up a certain frame or something, or like, or they're just universal and you can set it to? I'm just genuinely curious on how they work. How do they know when you get to a certain point in a game when you could be like getting there in different ways and things like that?
You mean like this, right?
Wait, let me just make
Like-
this bigger.
Yeah, if you can't see.
Yeah, so it's
we
where
can
it gives you
speedrun the podcast.
it gives you the time of yeah, that sort of thing. Or is
okay.
it all like, do you have to click a button yourself manually to hit it? Like,
So the answer, the greatest answer I can give is it depends.
okay, okay.
So normally, basically, the simplest way of using it is that you have a button on your keyboard and you press it and it moves on to the next thing, right? So if I this is going to get really complicated and I'm going to be ruining all of your layouts by not being a webcam and instead showing things, but here, this is like the basic interface for making it, right? So you put in all a bunch of information, it doesn't matter. Basically, you have things called splits. They're like sections.
Yeah,
You make sections and you put just a name in, like this can be whatever you want, like it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Oh god, I need to undo that.
Wrong side of the dog face.
But yeah, and you just like it just counts through them like here. I've changed this one, convenient. And it you just press a button and it records like when you start the timer and when you've pressed the button, and it records all the intervals between them. and it just stores it as like information in itself, and yeah, that's all.
So
That's all it is.
so it is literally like you when you reach a certain point, you press the button to log that as like that is the time that I reached this point.
Yeah. There's nothing.
See, I was
nothing
thinking it was more complicated than that, and they were actually like you were able to do it automatically, and the overlay knew when you.
There are some that you can get automatically, yeah. So you can program a thing called like an auto splitter. So like for PC games, you can make it so that like it reads the game's memory, and you could do it like whenever you hit a loading screen or whenever a certain progress is made or something. Like you can do that. Sure.
So you can do it like by seeing when something gets read from the code or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the other way is you could have a video auto splitter, which watches like for console games, because you can't read the memory of the console. It just watches like the capture card, and when it sees a certain area is a certain image, it splits.
Okay. So it's like
the game. So for what I'm doing now with Vice City Stories, whenever mission passed comes up on the screen, it splits.
Okay.
Automatically. Just that's all.
All right. Okay. Well, then that answers my question. I was curious.
Okay.
Thank you for imparting some knowledge.
Actually, do a split so I could hum the Vice City Stories mission stats.
I did do some splits.
I missed them. That's a shame.
All right. What else is in Speedrun Corner? Then you've got two things.
Oh yeah, this is me. Okay, so these two things are kind of related. So ESA Winter happened, like the speedrunning marathon. ESA Winter. Oh yeah, GDQ happened while we were gone as well. That was another big marathon. But ESA Winter happened, and I had a run. I was doing the last run of the marathon. Doing.
I'm about halfway watching it. By the way, I'm halfway through watching.
Oh, okay. I won't spoil what happens then. But it's a big run, and the game is like the game I'm running. Vice City Stories is like the PSP spin-off GTA game. But the route is like
a
really
good one,
complicated.
a very good game, by the way. Might I say?
I remember playing it on the PSP.
Yeah. But the route is really complicated, and it's like really technical. And if I do the wrong thing at the wrong time, the game will just crash outright, and then I have to like try to recover it and stuff like that. But like about a month roughly before my marathon run that I've been like practicing all this time for, another runner, Kaspersky, he accidentally found a thing that broke the game. I'll save the technical details, but he just like basically there's like 3 chapters or acts in the game, and when you complete one act, it like wipes all of its like memory of all the missions you've done, makes a bunch more missions, and then you go. But by doing a bunch of complicated timing, and there's a bunch of like 500 millisecond windows you have to hit conveniently. Oh yeah, there's a cat. He accidentally did this thing where if you save a certain. Oh god, I need to explain this. So, but when the last mission of an act ends, the game says, "Oh, that's the last mission. I need to set up all the next act, right?" But it waits 500 milliseconds before it tries to do it. If you start another mission or save during those 500 milliseconds, it doesn't do it correctly, and things break. But Kaz just accidentally, he just saved quickly, basically. He finished the last mission of the act, saved quickly, a speed run, and then he loaded the save, and like he spawned, and every single mission, like mission chain, so like all the Lance missions, all the Forbes missions, all the Umberto missions, were all just available at the start, even though there's supposed to be like a sequence of missions you have to do first. You have to do one Lance mission, and then a Forbes and a Lance mission opens, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he loaded the save, and just everything was available from the start. And it's just like, what the hell is this, right? And Louise was missing. The mission chain for Louise wasn't there. And then we all kind of panic and we all explore it. And it turns out that there's this glitch called Partial Act Change Bypass, is what we named it, PACBA.
You GTA runners are really good at naming things, I gotta say.
And basically it's like, so when you complete all of the missions, the game throws it away and it makes more missions. But if you interrupt this process, what happens is you save, and then it doesn't throw away the fact that you've done all these missions. and it keeps the fact that you've completed missions for certain people. I'll simplify it. It keeps the fact that you've unlocked this number of missions, right? So when we spawn in after doing this trick in chapter 2, we have all of the missions are unlocked because it hasn't forgotten that we've unlocked all the missions already. And all the Louise missions have been skipped because Louise is also in chapter 1. And the game remembers that we've completed every Louise mission so that we don't need to do any more, right? So then in chapter 2, just no Louise mission happens. But then the bigger thing that after some testing we found out was that you can do the same for chapter 3, which is the final chapter that's like twice as long as the other two. But that Lance, who's like, if you know Vice City, you should know the character Lance. He's a pretty major character. He has like 4 missions in chapter 2, but he has 9 in chapter 3, right? So we do the 4 Lance missions in chapter 2, and then the game remembers that we've completed every Lance mission, and then we do the glitch again for chapter 3. We just don't ever do a Lance mission. We skip 9 missions, and all 9 missions are all horrible. Like, you don't have to do the missions Blitzkrieg and Blitzkrieg Strikes Again, which are the only missions that require you to like own businesses, which are basically like gang wars or territories or whatever. So we don't have to do any more businesses ever. There's no requirement for that anymore because we don't do those missions. We don't do like a bunch of auto scrollers. We don't drive across the map on crappy vehicles. We don't have to like dodge through Lance like in front of us on a bike when we're trying to shoot him and stuff like that.
I feel like we like
amazing.
This very similar thing has like happened before. Like, or have you haven't told us about this, right? Or have you previously?
Have I explained this on the podcast before?
This
I don't think on the podcast, but I already knew about it from
Yeah,
as you were telling about skipping from one chapter to the next, and then all the missions are done from a certain character. I thought, wait a minute, have I had this before?
Have I explained this before? When did this get?
Was it not the San Andreas, the recent San Andreas skip that lets you? I can't remember what it's called, Josh. You're going to have to forgive me. You guys are too good with coming up with names.
What San Andreas thing?
The recent San Andreas skip that allowed you to skip right to the final mission.
That's not
script stacked underflow, overflow, megaflow, whatever.
Arbitrary jumping scripts.
Okay.
Yeah, I've explained that before.
You've explained that. He's maybe confusing it.
Yeah,
Last podcast, I was explaining the keep hitting circle thing. When was this discovered? Have I lost track of time? Yeah. I guess. Wait, it was discovered a month. Man. It was discovered a month before ESA, and it's been 2 months since that. Yeah, I have explained this before, haven't I? Yeah. Okay, I'm an idiot.
We just had Speedrun Corner that's been exactly the same as last month's Speedrun Corner.
It's been a while. Did I not write it in my notes because I write down what I talk about, and it's not in here.
Sorry, listeners.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, because of this, a whole bunch of new things are being discovered constantly in Vice City Stories. And it was stressing me the hell out because for like a speed run, for a marathon, I want to like not just be able to do it once. I need to be able to do it consistently. And if I mess it up, I need to be able to recover from it, right?
Yeah.
I need to be like at that level of proficiency. But when stuff keeps changing every flipping day,
it's something new
like,
all the time.
Panicking. At one point, I just like I feature locked my route. And I was like, new stuff got discovered, but I just didn't learn it, and I just kept doing the route I was going to do, and I did that for the marathon.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry if I explained this twice. It's
all right.
Cool, all right.
We got some further background to why you and how you were using it during the event, the marathon event.
Yeah,
but that's all we needed. It was just background. That's it.
But there are other GTA things that are discovered. So LCS, the prior game in the PSP series, the one set in GTA 3's Liberty City, that got a massive glitch discovered where, like, AJS, like the same thing for San Andreas, where you skip the whole game in 10 minutes. That one of those got discovered for that, which is pretty ridiculous. But I haven't done that. The Ballad of Gay Tony, you can teleport now. That's a pretty cool thing.
Speedrun is a crazy man.
Like any time, anywhere, or what?
No,
like...
so you call your friend Amado for the gun van, right? And then he spawns, and then you start a mission, and you fail it, and you get the text message to like restart it. and then you go to Armando's gun van, and you input the text that you say you want to restart the mission, but there's a delay before the mission starts. And then if you talk to Armando in the gun van, the mission starts, but then you get teleported to where the gun van is. So, but you can spawn the gun van like a lot of places.
I'm astonished that people find these things.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's just accidental stuff, most of it. The arbitrary jump in script for LCS wasn't accidental. I don't know if... Oh, wait, we haven't talked about this. A ton of GTA games are being reverse engineered.
Oh yeah, didn't Take Two shut them down immediately?
Yes, because they were idiots and talked to journalists.
Well, allegedly, we don't know yet, do we? If it's a troll takedown or if it's Take-Two.
Probably is. But I know the speedrunning community is involved with a bunch of people doing it, right? Because, of course we are, the programmers and stuff. And we've been using this reverse engineering to find a ton of things in a bunch of GTA games. So that was how AJS was discovered in LCS, was because of the reverse engineering, and then you just piling through the code and you just intentionally find it, right? Like PowderNet one day was just like, whoopsie, I jumped into variable space. Haha, I guess the game's broken now, right? But yeah, they got shut down annoyingly before they got to Vice City Stories, which is the one thing I wanted them to do was reverse engineer Vice City Stories. So not only can we break it, but we also can port it ourselves to PC. But hopefully it keeps happening, because just because the GitHub repository gets taken down doesn't mean they stop doing it. It just means it's a lot harder to like centralize where it's being done now. But
what are you playing Vice City Stories on?
This. Do you know what this is?
No.
You've never seen this? This is a PlayStation TV.
Yeah.
PSTV, yeah.
PlayStation TV. Wow, okay.
Is the camera gonna... Oh, I need to hide my face. There you go. Yeah, it's a PS Vita with the screen and the touchpads and everything ripped out and a HDMI port.
Okay.
And I'm playing it off of that and playing like, on the... the situation where there was like a PS1 inside of every PS2, essentially.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with that. There's a PSP in there that I can use to play the game with.
Okay.
I originally was playing on a PSP, just using the television output from it in a capture card. But then you have to play holding this tiny PSP and stuff, and it's awful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And the output is awful on it. This is better because it's HDMI, so it's like clean signal at least.
What do you use to control?
PS4 controller.
Oh, okay. That just links up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a shame. The PS TV was a massive failure for Sony. They ended up selling them off for like £5 a pop to get rid of the final stock.
It's the same. This and the Vita are both quite cool. It's really annoying. They're really nice hardware. Just there's no software.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I started doing this, I was planning to ask you, Broughy, how you do the input visualization on PC when you're playing on console. Because I was imagining it's going to be really complicated setup where you show your inputs when you're playing on PS4 on PC. So how do you do it? Is it the way I'm doing it?
Are we talking about the controller cam that I have?
Yeah.
I just plug the PS4 controller into the PC. Yeah,
after connecting it to the console.
Yeah.
Pure magic to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this will work. And then I did it. I was like, what? It just happily outputs to both at the same time.
It's amazing. What? Unlike the Xbox controller, which if I want to have, I can't have the controller cam on when I'm playing on Xbox because the PC takes over the Xbox controller and wants to use it for that. The PS4 controller and the PS5 controller, I tested it today, they both stay connected to the console, even though it's plugged into the computer. And still outputs to both.
It's. I wonder if you could do some crazy like 2 PS5s at once gameplay or something, or You could do like PS4 and PS5 at the same time. You could like multi-box in GTA Online.
Yeah, it's controlling 2 different things at once.
Yeah, you race yourself, right?
Right. Well, nobody in the phone bank, so
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yet again, our viewers have let us down.
Well, this has been a long one already, so we got through a lot. We had a lot to get through. We've done some good catching up, I think. And hopefully people have enjoyed. To be fair, more people watch live, I think, than watch when, after the fact when it comes to the videos and stuff. So thank you all for being here on Twitch, watching us live. And for those who are listening, I don't know how many of you there are. I haven't looked at the stats for a while, but...
No one.
No one? I bet there's more than no
We're
one.
number 1 on Spotify. We're beating Joe Rogan. No, we're not.
No.
It's entirely possible.
I'm looking it up now because I want to know. I want to know how many people are listening. How many people listen to episode 60? I'm curious.
See, if you do listen on iTunes, give us a good podcast rating and whatnot. That'd help us out. It's like liking and subscribing on YouTube, but you're doing it on iTunes.
Is this where we're at, begging for likes?
Yes. Oh,
It is,
we're just now
unfortunately,
getting here. I've been here for 3 years. My entire Twitch career was propped up on begging. So, I mean...
Episode 60 has been downloaded and listened to 267 times in the last 2 months.
Better than I thought.
That's not bad.
Good.
It was 128 in the first 7 days of its release. That was the most popular of the last 5 episodes.
Yeah, see, it's fine. It's on the up. It's on the up.
And
see, you're all doom and gloom.
Honestly, I don't think that
Trending
includes Spotify listens either. That's just all of the podcast places. So there's people who listen. Thank you, listeners.
Yeah,
We
I thought this was a
appreciate
good
it.
one. There was a whole solid hour of Nos Life update. I like that.
Yeah, that was fun to
You're
just
the only
listen
one.
to.
You're the only one. I'm glad that Hammer has done the timestamps so that everyone can skip through it.
All right, let's look at Spotify. How many were on Spotify? Okay, it's not telling. Oh, there we go. 130 starts, 113 streams, 50 listeners. Whatever that means. Oh, that was just the last 7 days.
We are bigger than Rogan. No, wait.
Okay, that I put it to all time and it didn't update, so maybe that's all time. Why do websites not work anymore when like?
Do you want to accept the cookies?
Oh,
no cookies.
I have maybe a life update to end this with.
Oh.
I'm planning on making an office. No more being in my living room in front of my fireplace and stuff.
No fireplace? Oh man, I love the
that doesn't
fireplace,
work.
though.
Is
Over
the
you ever-
office
have you
within
ever
your
lit it?
current residence? Or
yeah.
is
It's
it-
just in a different room, but
All right, okay.
but where Emma's doing university stuff now, and it's all online. It's like awkward when I'm like constantly shushing her because she's trying to talk to people and do work, and I'm here like doing podcasts and streaming and stuff. We need to be-
Playing video games.
We need to be in different rooms. And yeah, it'd be nice to have I've got a plan. So I've never had an office separate from my like normal living space before because I can't afford, because I use the computer for everything and I can't afford another computer to then like relax and play games with and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously the whole mental health benefits of having a workspace and a relaxing space are quite nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but my plan is that I came to a realization. I came to a realization a while ago that this room has really big. I can't show you because I'll dox myself. There's packages everywhere, but there's a big double door thing that opens up as like big French doors or whatever you call it. What I can do is if I clean out that room and put my stuff in there, I can have my desk against those doors and have the back of like my computer and my desk and stuff against the double doors. And when I come to relax in here, I can have a little sofa set up and a TV and stuff. And I could like open the double doors and have like just turn my computer monitor around and have my wireless keyboard and stuff hooked up to the other end. So I can like use my computer from the back half on a sofa and stuff.
So you're basically reusing the space that you have much better, and you're gonna have a much nicer place to be.
Yeah, I just need to get like a HDMI splitter or whatever,
Yeah.
and like a big television where I can sit and watch like Formula One and YouTube videos and stuff when I'm not working.
Yeah.
And then I can just close the doors and go around the other side, and be in the front of my desk and use it like a computer desk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now he's thinking with portals, eh?
Yeah, see?
So now I don't need to buy 2 computers where you can just have one on the other side of a door, right?
Yeah. Yeah, HDMI Matrix is something that I just got that Food wanted me to tell you about.
Oh, yeah.
I've
I was
done-
there when
I've
you
done-
were using it.
Yeah.
Broke.
And it broke, yeah. It's worked flawlessly since then. The moment I introduce it and test it and showcase it to people, it breaks. And then flawlessly
That was
before
amazing.
and since. But yeah, I recently changed up this whole room, and it's nice to do that. Like, it's nice to figure out
Oh, yeah.
something and be like, oh yeah, I can do that, and then actually doing it. It's just good. So
Yeah, I have a habit of once like every year or two just moving everything in the living room just because I want to.
oh, I don't
get
do
it
that.
from
Once
mum,
it's in its place, it's in its place. But
No, I must have it from my mum, who used to drive me mad when she kept moving things around all the time. And now I do it since I've been living here. Drives Emma mad.
all
Yeah.
right, well, we'll end it there then. We're done for another week. We got through a lot this time. Thank you all for listening and watching.
week?
Another month. Sorry.
2 months.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been 2 months. Hopefully, it's not 2 months for the next one.
Hopefully, I'm in a different place next time.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing it. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for watching. RDT's not here, so he's the one who actually likes it when I say, "Do you want to say goodbye, guys?" So I guess I don't need to say that this time, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, see you all later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
See, that was so much less of an outro.